Good morning. How's everybody doing? How you doing today? It's Stock Markets with Bruce. It's Uncle Bruce here. Welcome all to Tuesday, April the 20th, 2021. How about that? Another fun day in the markets. We have earnings coming out from some stocks from prominent companies. We have earnings beats, and we have some different changes in stock upgrades or price targets. We also are getting news today. Apple's going to have an event today. So there's stuff going on here, following a few different kind of stories at the same time. Welcome all to the show. I hope you're doing all right and staying healthy out there. We're doing the best we can here in Creston. Hopefully today we'll hit the mid 50s and looks like a gorgeous sunny day here so far. So we'll take this for sure. Hope all is well where you are. Welcome all of you. Early morning indications for the markets with an hour to go before we start trading. We're looking at the Dow with a 130-point loss for an opening, but I'm not sure if that's going to be a serious issue or last very long. I get the impression that with the loss yesterday, we had a down day yesterday. I get the impression we might be a little oversold, or pretty quickly might be to that point, and we may see a quick turnaround. We'll watch for that. S&P down 14.5 points. Over on NASDAQ showing a loss of only 30 to start the day. So we're not getting heavy pre-market negative selling pressure. This is all still trying to, I think these stocks are trying to find themselves. A lot of folks right now are anticipating and are waiting and are receiving earnings data. Earnings data is coming out last night. It started off nicely with IBM surprising analysts and the markets. IBM was able to show for the first time in 11 quarters since 2018, this is going back a ways, the company had an increase in revenue overall for the first time in 11 quarters. And this is showing me, and I hope it's going to show you folks how IBM has shifted. I've been mentioning now since January, when people ask me what are my favorite stocks on my stock list, they're right here. Here are my favorite picks right here. I have IBM as the third or so pick here, fourth pick that I've listed. And I started talking about IBM to this channel about when it was sitting about 119 to 120 a share, somewhere in that neighborhood. And one of the reasons I mentioned IBM at that time was at 119, 120 bucks a share, the dividend that was being paid by the company was going to yield you 5.4%, which is phenomenal when you compare it to what you can get at your bank from a savings account or what you can get from a GIC. The odds of IBM cutting its dividend are virtually nil, and so you got a pretty secure dividend here. What I also mentioned, though, for IBM, and what I've been constantly mentioning since, is there's been a management change in the last year. Gone are a whole bunch of the old school folks. In are a bunch of newer players who are much more attuned with the growth area of the company, which is the cloud computing, the hybrid cloud computing. There's so many terms. I don't know them all. Most of you probably do know what we're talking about here. Red Hat, the division they own there, and other divisions are really coming on, and the management of the company, top levels, like top 4 or 5 or 6 levels, are now all running this company from the growth side of the company. The 5 divisions they have, 3 are on fire right now, and they're pushing them much higher. The analysts had called for revenues in the quarter. They were looking for about 17.3 million in revenues, and the company delivered 17.7 billion in revenues, surprising everybody. A 1% increase. So the strength of the numbers during a pandemic, very strong. And the company is already saying that they believe that their earnings for the rest of this year will continue growing. They're already approaching, if not passing, pre-pandemic levels. this is a company that is really doing a great job, keeping in mind, and my brain is saying, a lot of the customers that IBM has are traditional brick and mortar corporations where they have offices, they have cubicles, they have servers, and these offices are empty right now. These people aren't, the employees aren't at a lot of the offices right now. They're working remotely. Doesn't seem to be phasing IBM at all. That is the thing that really is impressing the street as a whole right now. The stock market folks out there are going, wow, this IBM thing looks pretty darn good. Good to see the company firing on 3 of 5 cylinders and firing nicely, even in a pandemic, with the hope of the economy coming back on, coming back in. Excuse me. The hope will be that the other 2 divisions will pick up as well. Now, on the pre-market, and even last night in the aftermarket, the shares had popped up nicely. For IBM right now, excuse me, folks, we're at 136.40 on the stock. We're up 328, and the effect on the Dow Jones Industrial Index is IBM alone is adding 20 plus points to the Dow. Just this move, because IBM is, excuse me, is such a powerful company. Excuse me, folks. It's such a powerful machine, and is so much of a big part of the Dow that this kind of a move has a positive impact on the Dow 30. Pardon me. Having trouble here. Oh, boy. So sales are up, and that's good. The stock is up 3%. The price target for the company shares has been raised, by the way. Just heard this morning that one of the analytical outfits has raised the price target of IBM up to 151. So that is an excellent sign. Another piece of good news for shareholders. The share expectations, price expectations, 151 a share. Right now, 136.34. Those of you who own IBM, hang on and enjoy the ride. Those of you who write options against IBM, just be sure to write options that are out of the money by about $10 a share at all times, and keep them relatively short term, and I think you'll do just fine. The dividend is solid. The yield is still very high, still showing 4.9% yield right now. And as I say, the company is in pretty darn good shape. The number of shares outstanding on IBM is now about 900 million shares. The company over the last number of years has purchased back most of their stock. They purchased back a huge amount of their shares over the last number of years, so that I think 60% of the company's stock has been bought back by the company itself in the last decade, maybe even 15 years. But that management, that was the buyback management, let's call it. And by the way, that was the norm for mature companies in the last 10, 12 years. Raise a bunch of, have dough come in, pay a dividend, yeah, but use a bunch of the money you would have handed out in dividends and buy back stock to engineer the shares higher, keep them competitive. And so IBM had been doing that. Now that is over. The company is not as aggressive as from what I understand to buy back stock. They're actually growing value and growing wealth, growing their capital value of the company, and it's beginning to reflect in the stock price. And so the shares will go up in value. Either the company makes a bunch more money, increases their dividend dramatically, or grows their revenues and grows their asset base, so that the street goes, oh, this company's getting bigger, larger. I want to get the stock now, because in 5 years these guys could have a dividend that's 50% higher than it is now. They could have earnings that are double or triple what they have now. They could be much more further down the road. And so the IBM shares are moving, and have been moving the last couple of weeks now. And that looks to be continuing on. So good stuff on IBM. I'm very pleased about this. Brian, thank you. Which platform is best to trust to trade on currently on Robinhood? I don't know the best. I just know that Robinhood has been really beaten up by a lot of people who are very upset about the company. I myself am completely stumped as to how these guys think they're going to go public when they've let the public down so badly when it came to the GameStop suspension of trading, along with a bunch of other stocks. I'm amazed that these guys aren't losing millions of accounts because they were caught short by $4 billion of margin requirements in the span of like a week. I mean, these guys are, to me, they were undercapitalized back then, and they were incapable of handling basic trading. And so I would be out of there. I would not be in there. But where to go? You got to figure this out. I have been told by some viewers they love Fidelity, others love Ameritrade, but then people also use Charles Schwab and other platforms. You may want to do a Google search for platform trading companies, the best or differences between them, and then see what you can dig up. You may find that there are some bloggers out there who've taken the time to do a comparison of all the different platform companies, and they've done all the pluses and minuses, and the best of and the worst of, and then figured out from there. A lot of folks here have got opinions for you, anything but Robinhood. Some are saying Fidelity, love Fidelity, are you happy with Fidelity, Ameritrade, and others. So check it out, see for yourself. My wife and I started to switch to TD Ameritrade yesterday. Also heard great things about Fidelity. So there you go. TD ranks best for new investors. Love Ameritrade, Fidelity. There you go. Anyway, Fidelity does not do payment for order flow. This is good. There's another idea. There's a few thoughts for you. Josh saying, I switched to Fidelity. They set up an IRA and were able to transfer some over-the-counter stock to me into my account, which is good to know. Fidelity does not answer to anyone. They are a market maker. So there's another thought. There you go. Okay. Check it out and see what you think. All right. Hopefully that'll work out for you. Fidelity is good. Novice investor. I love it. I've been with Schwab for 30 years. There you go. All right. Other news. Apple is going to have a virtual reality. Not a virtual reality. They're going to have a virtual, what's the word I'm looking for? A presentation day, I guess. You know how Apple loves to have the invite a bunch of people out to Cupertino, and they put the tents up. In the past, they used to put up the tents and put up a stage and, have an announcement for a new product line. Well, they can't do that now, obviously, with social distancing problems and the virus. So they're doing it virtually. They're setting up, I'm sure, a show where they'll have some pre-recorded and some live, personalities and key people from the company talking, introducing new stuff. That's what it's all about. The word is the iPad is being revamped big time, so it might get even bigger than my big ass iPad. I mean, this thing's humongous, but I like it. There's apparently talk about enhancements for the pencil, and we'll see what's going on. I don't know if they're going to talk today about the iMacs. I'm not sure if there's iMac updates and upgrades coming or what have you. I know of iMac iMac news. I know of new iMac news. They're switching the chips into different branding, more like in-house branding, which will be produced by Taiwan Semiconductor. And of course, with every upgrade, every couple of years, everything just gets shifted and upgraded dramatically. And so I have a MacBook Pro, a 16-inch MacBook Pro that I switched into last year in August. And without my subscribers and my diehard followers from Traveling with Bruce, I would not be here with you today. This computer replaced an HP, a Hewlett-Packard laptop, Windows-operated computer, which was struggling to hang on to what I wanted it to do. I switched into this machine here, had never had an Apple computer before, and for the first month or so, I was struggling myself to figure out how do I turn this thing on, how do I do this, how do I do that, and after a month or so of just working with this computer and working with the computer, I began to get much more comfortable with it. Today, I could not live without this performance of this computer. It's been a dream, and it's a powerful machine. Cost a fortune, and because of my viewers from Traveling with Bruce, who helped, they just stepped up and helped me fundraise enough money to buy this thing. Something I never forget. And anyway, fantastic. I'm sure the new iMacs, when announced and when released, will be even better and more powerful and faster, and we'll all drool about them. And then those of us on the outside looking in will go, well, maybe in 2 or 3 years when this one starts to go, if it does, maybe I'll switch over. But way to go, Apple. The shares on Apple have been improving also in the last couple of weeks. They had a high trade back in the earlier part of this year. Let me just double check for you. Apple computer, here we go. Apple, in the last 6 months or so, you can see this chart right here. 6 months ago, back in October, before the end of the year, they were recovering, and they reached a high here, right here. This would have been in about the middle of January, approximately, and they reached this 145.09 neighborhood. They touched it. But then they came out with earnings at that time, blew the street away, didn't help. The stock backed off anyway, even after the earnings came out. And within about 6 weeks, the shares had come all the way back down to 116 a share, approximately, from 145 to 116, almost $30. And I had been talking about Apple in the 120 neighborhood as one of my favorites, and so we're now back to 134.94. And my hunch is between now and the summertime, the stock will hit new all-time highs and will likely break 150. It's just my personal opinion. There are analysts out there who have their own opinion on what this stock's going to do, but I have a suspicion that the numbers are going to be very good. They will continue to rack it up. The pandemic has not stopped Apple's earnings one iota. It really hasn't mattered, even with their stores being open or being closed, being open. I bought this computer in a pandemic, and I remember when I bought this machine in Calgary last summer, you had to make an appointment to go in there, and I had no trouble at all, and the service was impeccable, and they had the machine I wanted in stock, and it's all good. So way to go, Apple. I know they're doing a lot of online sales, and they're doing a lot of business, not just in hardware, but also in software and through other systems. And so on fire, I think they'll do well. Over on GameStop, our favorite, the stock we follow the closest, the mostest, and the closest, 166.75 is the current price on the open market, pre-market. We're up 248 from yesterday's close, which was 164.37. The shares did gain about around $10, I guess, yesterday when it was all said and done. 166.85 this morning. The volume in the pre-market this morning, very light. Yesterday, it traded 600,000 shares in the pre-market. Right now, with 42 minutes to go before we open for the day, we've only had 46,000 shares trade. But this should tell you something. 46,000 shares of volume, and it's up 238 a share. There is no selling of any urgency coming into this pre-market at all. We'll watch and see, of course, the opening, as we always do, the first half hour of the day. What's GameStop going to do with the hedge funds that are out there who are, more interested in the stock going down than going up? We'll see how this plays out. We are waiting, of course, for GameStop to talk to us about and give us an official news release regarding the next CEO. I don't anticipate anything today. We did get the announcement yesterday that Mr. George Sherman will be officially leaving the company between now and the end of July, depending on the timing of the new CEO. So we know that that's official, and that I think that news will settle in for a little while before we hear about a new CEO. That's just my guess. I could be wrong. Maybe there's an announcement happening in 15 minutes. I don't know. But at the moment, 166.75 approximately is where it's trading at. And more and more analysts, let's say, who are following this story are beginning to, and reluctantly isn't the right word, but grudgingly or slowly but surely or bit by bit are covering the story, the corporate story of GameStop more than the hype story of GameStop, the so-called, oh, there's going to be a massive short squeeze, watch out for an explosion of this stuff. That story is not dominating right now, which I'm happy about, because no one can predict that. No one can time it. No one can guarantee any of that at a specific moment in time. What can be predicted and what can be speculated on and what should be really talked about for this company's long-term success is its corporate game plan and the CEO selection process. That's key right now. That is what we're waiting for. That is what you all want to hear about. We do know that our man, Mr. Cohen, he is going to take over control of the company with respect to being the chairman of the board. That's June the 9th. This is April 20th. So we have to go another 30 days plus another 50 more days for that shareholder meeting to be had. But we may find that in the next little while, not only will we hear about the CEO, the timing of when that individual is coming on board, we may find out about lieutenants joining the CEO. There might be there could be a team of people coming. We don't know, but this is the speculation, and I'm kind of excited about this because you bring the right CEO in with the right corporate background you're looking for, and the right team of advisors. Just like Mr. Cohen brought in two of his key guys when he joined this company, he brought two more in to join the board right away. And now he's been adding allies and others that he knows very well into the higher echelon of this company, including the board. Same thing with the CEO. And it may be, hey, don't put it past this company that they could theoretically steal a bunch of the folks who are running Chewy right now and bring him over. It is... Anything is possible. Do not put it past it. It could be senior executives from Amazon could be pushed out of there, brought over. Could be Chewy. It could be other, another name entity and entities that are in the e-commerce side of things. We're at now 166.95, approaching 167 on the pre-market. So you could see some, a 3-person, a 5-person, a 12-person team very quickly being announced right after the reveal of who the CEO is going to be. Within a week, we get the drift that, oh man, it's not just this one person. There's a whole army of people coming in here, and they're all, really high ups. And they all know Mr. Cohen. That could well be it. Or they don't. It could well be Mr. Cohen is aware of who they are, but doesn't know them on a one-on-one basis. We're going to find this out. I am sure that while I'm here visiting with you on a casual basis here from my living room in Creston, British Columbia, Mr. Cohen and his associates are extremely busy right now and have been for quite a while, and be making a bunch of phone calls, a bunch of emails, a whole bunch of texts, and perhaps a few clandestine meetings to solidify the candidates and to narrow down the choice for CEO. And I would, that's how I'd be doing it if I were the presumptive chairman of the board. Yeah, I would already be making my moves, knowing my CEO is gone, and so on. So stay tuned, kids. It could get incredibly active here with GameStop. 167.15, it just broke through that level now on a volume of 48,800 shares. So very little volume. It's higher by almost $3 a share. And a lot of corporate news is coming your way. A lot of corporate news. So be careful. Do not be selling this stock. Do not be shorting it. I would not recommend anyone short this stuff. You would really be playing with fire if the CEO is of a caliber that is a name recognition CEO for a lot of us out there, like a lot of investors out there, that alone could pop this market $50 to $100 a share in the first week. Just a name person. But if we find out that Mr. Cohen has attracted a CEO and a team of people to come along with the CEO that could completely transform this company so quickly, these shares are on their way. I mean, that's what you really want to have happen. You as shareholders out there, you want this stock to take a shot from a corporate point of view. That's where you want the momentum to come from. The added momentum you'll get, of course, from the corporate move will be the short squeeze and that all that artificial stock that's out there, all the hybrid stock that's out there, all these other stories we've been following, that will all add to it. But the corporate side will be the lead. That's what we want. That's what I want. I want to see a serious corporate lead story to really take this thing. And we'll have that first with the CEO. Then we'll have the annual meeting. We'll have the first quarter financials coming out. They should be good compared to last year's first quarter. The company, I believe, will have a profit for the first quarter this year versus last year. I don't think they had a profit last year in the first quarter. So yes, very excited about that. And that is all corporate. And that is all everything you want to get the ball rolling. And then we'll just see how the analysts handle it from there, pundits and other spokespeople. And of course, the new CEO, once that person is brought in and the Mr. Cohen has taken control of the board of directors, after that day, then June the 9th, after June the 9th, we will probably know who is going to be the spokesperson on behalf of GameStop from now on, from an interview point of view. So who is going to go on camera at CNBC or Fox Business or Bloomberg Television, CNN Financial, all these other networks? Who's going to be the face of GameStop? And how comfortable are they in front of the camera? How good are they in front of the camera? If they want to use the CEO as that face, I'm hoping, I've crossed my fingers, that the CEO selected is a savvy, comfortable presenter in front of a camera. If it's not going to be the CEO, then it may well be a lieutenant of the CEO, or it could well be Mr. Cohen himself, or it could be a hired gun that the CEO hires with Mr. Cohen to be, again, the face of the company as far as press releases go, updates go, interviews, this type of thing. I'm also hoping, and I'm expecting, with Mr. Cohen taking over the board of directors and a new CEO coming in, that there will be hopefully a serious revamp of the investor relations department at GameStop. I really want to see an investor relations department that is as effective as the Tesla people have, as effective as other well-run public companies. Invest in your investor relations team. Put a leader in there who can really take this story and get going, because this company should have enough news going forward now to do weekly press releases, relentless press releases to all shareholders constantly, through all brokerage houses constantly, through all vlogs. They should be reaching out to guys like me. They should be contacting all YouTubers that talk about these guys. And they should be inviting guys like myself to subscribe to their services so that I'm on top of every little thing. I should be getting emails from the company direct whenever they're doing a press release through their investor relations department. They should be proactively contacting me saying, this just came out. We just released this 15 minutes ago. Boom, here you go. And I have an hour or two before the opening. with the press announcement, press release in my hand on this thing, so that I can be, getting all prettied up for you on camera while I'm already reading this story about what's the news today on GameStop. This should be investor relations 101. This is ground floor investor relations strategy that should be in place for all companies, including GameStop, because GameStop has a lot of explaining to do and a lot of revealing to make going forward. And they have to work hand in hand with the CEO. And this is why I'm thinking it could well be that nothing happens until the new CEO comes in. And I'm praying again. I'm crossing my fingers. I have so many prerequisites for this CEO. There are so many, but one of them has to be a tremendous familiarity between the relationship of a CEO to an investor relations team. This has to be so tight that the head of investor relations literally can pick up the phone and text the CEO at any moment and get a response within 30 seconds. Because if a CEO ignores their investor relations department, or considers it a division that a VP can handle, you are blowing it as a public company. You have the right person in charge of that investor relations department, the right CEO in charge of the company, working as a synergized team. The thoughts and wishes and aspirations of the CEO, what he wants the world to know, and what he wants the shareholders to understand, and what he wants those of you who aren't shareholders to figure out. Everything in there should be instantaneously transmitted to the head of investor relations, who can then get that information out there. So there is no doubt in anyone's mind that this company is on the move and is going to become a serious e-commerce player. And every accomplishment that they're making, wherever it happens to be, another country, a different product line, they signed a deal with a new company to take on their product. Any accomplishment like that should be instantaneously released as a positive piece of press. And this is how you do it. This is how you impress people who are not shareholders of the company to go, how come I don't get called by my broker or my investment advisor to buy this stuff? Because I'm reading all kinds of really good stuff about GameStop. What's with these guys? And if these fellows are guys and girls, I should really say, these guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, do the job right, they will get unbelievable exposure to people who would never have thought to consider buying this stock. Because perception is reality, and you must give the perception of this company is a winner. It's on the right track. It is a momentum is really building here. And when an investor calls a broker and say, hey, I was looking at Investor Market Watch the other day, or I was watching Uncle Bruce, or I was looking at a news channel, I saw a story about this GameStop. And the broker getting the phone call should also be saying, I've been reading a lot about them too. That's what should be happening to start that conversation. That could lead to, well, maybe we should pick some of this stuff up. Let me check out the chart on the stock, and then get into it. And the advisor and the client can kind of scheme together to pick up some of these shares. And they've got estimates, and they've got maybe price horizons. They've got if it goes down to this level, it's a dip. We're going to buy some more. A dip is not a bad thing. A dip is an opportunity to get cheaper stock. If you get that kind of philosophy going through investment advisors to clients and vice versa, you have a stock that is impervious to dips. It's impervious, where normally a stock that backs off 5 or 10 or 15% on an attack, on a short sale program, on a bad day in the markets, interest rate problems in New York cause the market to back off, and GameStop gets sucked into a vortex and loses $10 in a share. Those kinds of dips, actually, when they happen, you want the market. If I'm, again, the investor relations guy and I'm the CEO of the company, I want the street to look at that and go, opportunity to pick up some GameStop at a hell of a good price. Like people think about Apple. They go, oh, Apple, it drops $10 a share. I'm buying Apple. Yeah, I don't get these dips very often. I'm picking up this cheap paper. That's what you want to have happen going forward with your company shares. And that is where GameStop should be in the minds of most prospective investors and existing investors. That requires a special, talented group of people in the investor relations department who have a direct feed to the CEO, who has a direct want and desire to get their vision promoted at all times to the street. If you have a CEO who's secretive and wants to keep everything to themselves and just want to surprise you once in a while, wrong guy for this company right now. The wrong guy. You want a dream maker. You want someone who's an inclusive kind of person to draw in the millions of people out there who could become shareholders of your company if only they knew what you knew that you're allowed to talk about. And of course, all CEOs have information of the company they can't disclose. It's proprietary, it's secretive. I get it. But the dream of GameStop's management and the dream of the chairman of the board of GameStop should be completely reflected through the CEO into the investor relations department out to us, so that when Mr. Ryan Cohen says to his CEO, dear sir or madam, here's what I want to have happen in the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and a year, and this is the long-term goal, make it happen and let the world know about it. And if the world gets an inkling of what Mr. Cohen actually has in mind for GameStop, and only 20% of it is shared with us because 20% is available to be shared, the other 80% is quite, at this moment, top secret, that could pop this stock to 300 a share. I mean, that alone could create so much excitement out there where the public is going, wow, that's what these guys are thinking of doing? Like, holy macaroni. And that's just a taste of what's to come. I want in. And you get that kind of buzz behind a company's shares. These shorters that are out there are going to panic, completely panic, because they were sold a bill of goods, or they were given the impression from the previous management and previous investor relations management, again, probably under the direction of previous management. The bill of goods they were sold was this company's on its last legs. It's about to go under. Their brick and mortar platform isn't working. They can't keep up with their, they can't do their sales anymore. Their margins are collapsing. The company is directionless. The board of directors doesn't seem to have a cohesive leader. The CEO is just kind of patching holes in the dike all over the place. This is the wrong impression that public companies should not be having going out there. That's absolutely the wrong thing to have happen. You want the opposite, where the public is going, what are these guys going to do next? Now what are they cooking up? That's what you want. You want the public going, wow, this thing is really, the potential for this company is unbelievable. And the stock is trading at a fraction of what it could really become. That is what we want. That's what Tesla is. That's what Tesla has been for years. Tesla has been the vision of Elon Musk, the future and the imagination and the absolute limitless possibilities of electric cars dominating the planet, solar roofs that look like regular roofs, battery storage systems in garages and in basement units that can hold enough power to power a house. The vision of this guy is what the stock is trading at. I mean, there's a reason why Tesla is trading at 13 to 1400 times earning multiple. I mean, same thing with Mr. Bezos and Amazon. For 25 years, 30 years, Mr. Bezos has enamored and captured the imagination of the investors of Amazon to pay prices for the stock of Amazon way above and beyond book value from the 90s. I'm talking 30 years this has been going on. The stock is still trading at 75 times earnings today, which is more than double what Apple trades at. Mr. Jobs had the imagination of the world in the palm of his hand for about 20 years when he turned Apple around and brought out the smartphone, the iPhone, and other inventions. This is the kind of vision we need from Mr. Cohen. I think he can give it. I think he can deliver it. But is Mr. Cohen going to be the spokesperson for this vision, or is it going to be the CEO? And is this why the current CEO is on the way out? Because he and Mr. Sherman just are not going to be able to click. Because again, to be fair to Mr. Sherman, it's not his fault. He was hired 2 years ago to run a company that had been failing for years and stabilize it. And he made a lot of moves to stabilize the company. But by the time Mr. Cohen showed up, the company was on the verge of a lot more stability than it was previous years. However, the vision that Mr. Cohen has going forward, Mr. Sherman probably not deliver on what Mr. Cohen has in mind. And so the CEO is the next CEO is the person to take the vision to reality. This is why this is such an important position to hire. Anyway, there you have it. This is Bruce here in Creston, British Columbia, talking about the future, McFly. The future, exciting stuff. We're going to watch all this and see what happens. I can't wait, but I will be patient with GameStop. They've been at light speed now for weeks and months, doing so many changes and moves. I know they've got a bunch more going. I know what it's like in the C-suite, having been in one myself. I know what it's like, and I know the frustration of a president of a publicly traded company, of which I was once one, to knowing what we knew in the C-suite and knowing what our shareholders didn't know, and also knowing that the shareholders we had who paid attention to us knew our vision, but the rest of the street had no idea what we were doing, and we couldn't get press to pay attention to us. That is the frustration of ultimate frustrations when you're part of a public company. Christopher Bielo, thank you for becoming the latest and greatest member of this channel. I appreciate you becoming a new member today. Love the fact that a lot of you out there are renewing your membership for another month. You've been told by YouTube that your first month has come and gone. If you'd like to stay a member of this channel, just renew your membership right away. A bunch of you have done the automatic just renew my membership and don't even ask me button, and I so appreciate you doing that. You're now noticing your emojis beside your name, those logos, are changing color from orange now to green because it's the second month. And thank you, all of you, for sticking with this channel. But as a public official, as an insider of a public company, I know the frustrations that one has when you're just dying for the street to understand what it is you're doing and how exciting it is and how you can't wait to get to the office. I mean, I was with my public company. It was 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. My partner and I, we both ran this thing, and we were just so stoked up about what we were doing and what we were about to do and what was coming down the line. And yet there were times where we were not allowed to talk because of the blackout periods. And then there were times where we were in the middle of a deal and we couldn't speak about the deal because we were trying to close it. There were other times where we'd have a deal and we'd do a press release and no one would read it. It would just go out there. It would just go, and nothing would happen. Our stock would just sit there, nothing going on. And so now you're trying to figure out ways to get press, to get exposure, to get things going. That's the problem when you have a small company. This is not, GameStop is not a small company. The good news for Mr. Cohen and the new CEO coming in, and hopefully the revamp of the investor relations department and relationship between the department and this incoming CEO and perhaps the chairman of the board. The hope I have is that these three parties, the top guy, the second guy, and the investor relations people, have a synergized relationship where there is no mystery. And the investor relations people have to go through the corporate lawyer, the securities lawyer, to make sure that any press releases going out are legitimately able to go out, that there's no wording in there that could cause a misunderstanding or something is over exaggerated or anything like that. You want to stay in the good books of the SEC and everybody else, of course. But the three parties together should be synchronized to the point where what comes out of those press releases is exactly what the chairman and the CEO want to go out, and how it goes out, and how often and how frequent, so that shareholders of the company, all shareholders, will always get a stream of information that just bombards them with what's going on, and they realize how busy these people are. And then the street at large, and that is the community of all those Redditors and Wall Street bets people and all of these millions of investors around the world who follow the stock markets, who don't even know that GameStop's shares are available. They've heard of GameStop, they don't even know it's a public company, or they kind of heard about it, but they're not sure about it, or they don't know very much about it. You want the world at large to be addicted to the next press release coming from the company. And you want investors coming into this stock through platform trading or any other method, through ETF purchases or whatever they're doing, index funds, where stock is constantly being picked up by new investors for long-term holds, 1, 4, 5, 8 years, where people are going, I really like this company. These guys they're transforming the gaming business. And these guys are going to be at the cutting edge of it rather than following behind it. That's what you want to have happen. And this is where, when we see announcements coming out, or analysts coming out talking about the new games coming out, or perhaps new online gaming ventures, that GameStop will be a part of that. Somehow, some way will be part of this ecosystem. And that any and all accessories, the latest, hottest trends in gaming, tournaments in gaming, whether they're local, regional, national, international, the second word out of people's mouths are GameStop. Big international tournament, GameStop is hosting it. GameStop's promoting it. GameStop has prizes, or offering prizes for the top results of these tournaments, blah, 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 blah. Top gamers and GameStop are tight, very tight. There are synergies here where GameStop is signing up top gamers under contract to be promoters and spokespeople and you name it, of the company and the product line that they represent. That is what we're looking for. We need the kind of management to work this kind of synergy. And I think the chairman of the board is already your number one guy in that department. Now the CEO has to become the right-hand man here, or woman, to take this company on, and the investor relations department has to promote it. And the key, I always think about the key promoting stock. You certainly promote to your shareholders, yeah, but you promote to your non-shareholders. That's who you really want to get excited. You may have, in the case of GameStop, they may have 300,000 shareholders, 800,000 shareholders, 4.7 million shareholders, 17 million shareholders. I don't know how many they have. I don't know. But you want to get the word out about GameStop to the 100 million people that don't own your stock, that could own your stock. You want to get after them, and you want them holding your stock over someone else's stock. That's the bottom line. And the more participants you get in to try to pick off this paper, even if they're trying to buy 10 shares each, you can take this stock to an unreal level. And if you can do that, you as a corporation can have now got more weapons at your disposal to make an inroad in the business you're in, whether it's just doing stock offerings into the market, whether it's private placements of stock, secondary offerings, or whether it's a takeover of another company that you're going to bring into your company's fold. And the stock price of your stock is so attractive to this private company over here, they could never go public like they can go public this way. I mean, to go public by being bought by a public company is the way they want. They don't want cash. They'll just want paper. Take on any debts we have for the equity. Just give us paper in your company, because we want in. We want your paper, to swap our paper for your paper. And we're now shareholders of GameStop. And if this company is able to do a takeover every 30 days of all these little, smaller companies out there, bit by bit by bit, diversifying out into more and more of the gaming business, it gets to the point where GameStop becomes the Amazon of the gaming business, and it dominates it, totally dominates it. And you as shareholders get rich. It's just that simple. You just get rich because these guys who are running the company, they are getting rich. They have to take you with them. They got to take you with them for the ride. Let's see what happens. Very exciting stuff. Thank you, everybody, for following me this morning. We've got 10 minutes to go before we open up today. The Dow is down 102 points. It's not having a bad opening. It's a little bit of a down opening, but I don't think it's a serious issue here. S&P is only down 11.5 points. The NASDAQ down 27. This is very light on the negative side. It will take nothing for the markets to go positive within 15 minutes of opening. Will it? I don't know, but it doesn't look to me like we're into a serious, ugly opening at all. Crude oil up 32 cents to 63.70. There's conflicting stories coming out about crude. One thinking theory is that as economies open up, the demand for crude will be larger. The other argument is, yeah, but they're not opening up, and there are countries actually receding right now. And the question is, how many are climbing out of the pandemic, and how many are succumbing to a second, third, fourth, fifth wave? Where will this oil price go? Right now, 63.70 seems to be the saw-off price. It is what it is. We'll see what happens. Time will tell. Good morning, everybody. Thank you guys for popping in to see me. Thank you, all of you who are supporting this channel. Here on the live show, we now have 620 folks who have thrown a thumbs ups our way already. I appreciate that very much. Only 19 thumbs downs today. Thank you for that. Keep those thumbs ups coming in. Let's hit 1,000 as soon as we can and get more momentum on the channel. Also, thank you to a new member, Charles Lee. Charles, welcome to the channel as a new member of this channel. Hope you're enjoying the show. Use those emojis all you want. Don't forget, the knee emojis move markets, just so you know. And the bagel emojis destroy markets in a very good way. So if you want an update, hit those knee and bagel emojis. Thank you, all of you, for being here. The Dow is now down 96 coming on. S&P is only down 11, NASDAQ down 29. So we seem to be improving here as we're coming into the last 8-9 minutes prior to the opening of the market. Thank you, everyone, for popping in. This is fantastic. Here's a bit of story here from Shane talking about Gary Gensler. He's definitely looking like he's going after corrupt hedge funds, given the members he's appointing to the SEC board. This is going to be an interesting development. This gentleman is, I hope, the gentleman that we have been waiting for with respect to how many shares are floating around out there that are not supposed to be out there. There are shares floating around in many, many public companies, including GameStop. Failure to deliver. And this is where firms are selling stock they haven't got. They're not going to get. They make half-hearted attempts to find it. They don't find it. And they roll over their failure to deliver IOUs to the clearing firms, allowing millions and millions and millions of shares to trade that shouldn't be trading. And I want that cleaned up and tightened up dramatically. I would like to see GameStop be a $500 stock just on the tightening up of this failure to deliver rule. There are possibly as many as 200 to 250 million shares of GameStop floating around out there, and there's only 70 million in existence. We have got a ton of work to do here. We're going to see how this plays itself out. Again, thank you, Chuck Lee. Welcome, dude. People are so happy about Charles Lee being here. Charles, you're doing it right. He's happy being here too. Fantastic, man. Thank you for popping in, and thank you all of you who are considering joining this channel as a member. It is fantastic. Tony wants to know, can SEC staff own stock, or is it a conflict of interest? I don't know the answer to the question for sure, because I don't know the SEC employment rules and contracts, but something is telling me that it is highly unlikely that they own any single stock. They might be allowed to own investments in mutual funds, to be, to have a sector or, index fund perhaps, but even then I'm not sure. I really cannot honestly answer this. Thanks, everyone. I'd like to thank the Academy and my parents, says Shane. Shane, way to go, buddy. Nice speech. We appreciate that. Let's see. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, man. Gensler has that look, if you know what I mean. Don't mess with me, buddy. Don't be messing here. Cover your short positions. Yeah, I kind of wonder how this is going to play out. Yeah, this should be fun. Anyway, we'll follow that closely. 165.12 on GameStop right now. Volume in the pre-market, only 85,000 shares. It did touch 175 briefly. Sorry, 167 briefly, pardon me. 167 briefly, maybe 167.25, something like that. 165.09 right now, and the Dow down 91, S&P down 11, and NASDAQ down 29. So the Dow and the S&P are improving as we're coming into the opening of the market. We'll see how this wants to start things off for us. Yes, the Dow and the markets. We just are reading here, Ted Nugent tests positive for COVID-19. Just saw a headline, hope he's going to be all right. Hopefully he's not doing too badly. We'll keep an eye on that. There you go. And let me see. Pardon me 1 second, folks. Well, I'm trying to get my markets to properly show us what's going on here. Okay, where are we at now? 3.5 minutes to go before we open up. The futures are still looking negative, but not really, really bad. Let's see what's going on. And here, federal pensions are typically in treasury bonds or in mutual funds, so SEC employees can have those. Not sure about anything else other than that. And let's see. Ted the Sledge, damn. Cat scratch fever. Oh, man. Bat scratch fever. Okay, let's see. And what's going on with the SPACs? Watching the SPACs carefully, waiting for our friends to complete their mergers. They're all now approaching the last 30 days, if not less than 30 days now. So getting closer. At any time, we should have SPACs changing their names and their stock symbols, and a bunch of news coming out. I am anxiously and eagerly awaiting the news from SPACs, but at the moment, it's one day at a time while we have to grind out the weight during this lockout and tie-up period until we get going again. So that's where we're at right now. Just waiting this through. So still bear with me, kids. We gotta hang on until those mergers are finished. All the filings are done. I know they are probably going as fast as they can to get this done. We'll see what's going on. Okay, what do we got here? Let's see. Lots of folks talking to each other. Welcome. Countdown sequence has started. That is correct. Guidance is internal. Get ready, kids. We're about to start rocking here. A little over a minute away. The commercials are on CNBC right now. The Dow futures looks like down 89 and S&P down 10. These markets have been slowly but surely strengthening on the big markets. We'll watch the first 20, 30 minutes, see how they do it. We'll be here for that. And Shane is saying to Ona, if these shares squeeze, they're going over $1,000 a piece. Let's see here. What else is going on here? I want $1 million, says Ona. There you go. Internal guidance with Bruce. Let's rock and roll. That's what I want to do with the rest of my life. What do you want to do with the rest of your life, kids? What do you want to do with the rest of your life? That is the question you have to ask yourself every day. I know what I want to do. I want to rock, man. I want to rock. Anyway, let's see. What else is going on here? Oh, look at that. Mike got my SoFi MasterCard in the mail yesterday. Gonna make them money, and you're gonna make that public company money. You're gonna make those shares go even higher. the IPOE. Way to go. Let's see. I want a stonk, says Hologram. Any thoughts on HMBL? I don't know who that is. Travel with Bruce, says Danielle. Let's go. Let's make money. That's what I want to do. I just want to be able to take naps, says Carrie. If I make a bunch of money off GameStop, I want to clean up the ocean, the plastic in the ocean. Rest of my life, rock, sunshine, bourbon, and barbecue. Now we're talking. Now there's priorities there that are pretty hard to ignore. I would say that travel and visit all the apes, space travel with Bruce, thumbs up, smile, green today, HMBL PI. I have no idea what that is. 164.40 on the pre-market on GameStop. We are opening now. The bell is going off. So let's see what we have right now on the opening market. We're showing GameStop at this moment in time. 163.15, down $1.22 on an opening volume of 157,000 shares. We'll see how long this lasts. We've got... here we go. We have got AMC down 6 cents to 9.60. We got Coinbase up 11 cents, 33.11. Let's watch this opening sequence and see how the markets want to handle all of the activity that's coming our way. Folks are here, and we are looking to run these markets. 163.05 on GameStop, down $1.30 some on a share. IBM up 4.54. Up to 137.66. Very good move on IBM today. Happy to see that. Fantastic. GameStop, 163.49, down 88 cents. Coming on right now, 163.80, 164.10. It looks like it's broken through 164. Volume very light, still showing less than 200,000. I don't think that's accurate. Trying to get a new reading. 202,000 volume on GameStop. 164 over here, 163.88 over here, down about 30 to 40 cents a share. Nothing much to worry about. We'll see how this plays out. And they're off, they say. Here we go. AJ for president. Here we go. And they're coming out hot today. The Dow down 121 at the moment. S&P down only 9.9. NASDAQ only down 9 points. So those two have popped. The Dow's off a little bit. There's got to be a Dow component causing the commotion. We'll follow that. The Dow right now down 124, down 133.95 at the low of the day right now. And we'll watch for these markets. Let's see here. Go Tesla, says Adventures with Dunklin. Let's see here. Brian is asking, can you paint a picture of what the economy would look like without naked short selling compared to what it is today? Would 2008 and the COVID crash have been so bad without it? Good questions. I'll have to try to address that as the day wears on. We're at 162 on GameStop, down 237 right now. Lloyd, thank you for this donation. Picked up some more VGAC this morning, read something that they have until June to make the merger. VGAC is down 4 cents to 9.89. And we are just off a little bit on the SPACs. Vector Acquisition is down 23. IPOE is up a nickel. And other than that, not much going on. Vanek Vectors down $1.44. Home Depot down 74 cents. IBM up 4.54. And Dow is now down only 125. Microsoft is up 18 cents. It's turned around. Apple is down a penny. Very quiet on that front right there. GameStop volume now, 267,000 shares. Quiet start to the day at this point, generally speaking. 162.12 is where I'm showing it. 161.96, forgive me, down 240 a share. All right. Shorting stock. Look, shorting stock has always been part of the market, but it has taken on a bit of a, more prominent position, I would say. It's certainly known today versus 6 months ago, thank you to GameStop. But shorting in the last 2 decades, the last 10 years, has become a bigger part of the market. And sometimes it has become a little more sinister than just trying to catch a wave. It used to be in the old days, you would short a stock because it ran way too far too fast over a week or 2 or 3. And you would short some shares on the high end of a wave as a stock is kind of cresting out sort of thing, and you would try to catch a little bit of a dip, maybe get 5% of the run back or 10% of a, maybe a $5 a share swing. You'd get maybe 50 cents back, a buck back. You'd scoop that, take your money and run. Today, shorting has changed where there are now entities out there that are looking for companies that are in financial trouble, and they're swooping in to short their stock in bucket loads, and they're relentlessly and will not let up on the selling of the stock, which in effect negates the company's opportunity to try to raise money, because the Wall Street won't put any money into a company through its shares, especially if they know there's a huge short position on it and it's being aggressively shorted. They all of a sudden that cuts off money to a public company through share offerings. Now companies are trying to, what they then try to do is they make deals. They try to say to their creditors, I'll give you stock in lieu of debt. And the debtors are going, no, thank you. The street is shorting you left, right, and center. This stock you give me is going to be worth 1/10 of what it is now. I don't want your stock either. That limits the company. Now they're down to a bond offering or to some kind of a note offering, and no banker will touch them with a 10-foot cattle prod, because they realize you guys can't raise money any other way, even though you're a public company. No one wants to merge with them. Nobody wants to merge with them on a stock deal, because again, the stock is being shorted, and so there's this complete cutoff from salvation, survival, diversification, the funding, raising of funds. This is where short sellers can really cause havoc with certain public companies. The good news for GameStop, they're not in that position. They're making money. They don't have debt. Their debt's about to be paid off here in the next 10 days. They've called it in. And so the company is in a cash-rich, debt-zero position. Sales are rising, converting to an e-commerce tradition. So short sellers should be getting the heck out of Dodge when it comes to GameStop. Right now, 163.40. We've got a bit of a recovery here from this 161 opening low. I guess we were down to 161.50. But short sellers sometimes are wrong. And they sometimes short stock they shouldn't be shorting, or they don't get the messages, or just not getting the signals, or they're misreading, the reality of a scenario. They don't notice a turnaround, and or they're so full of themselves they just won't pay attention to reality. And that has happened with Tesla shareholders. Tesla shorters were betting against the dreamer. They were betting against Elon Musk and his dream of the future. And they for whatever reason, just didn't buy into his visions for Tesla and for the solar division and SpaceX. And they were opposing him every way they could. And they paid dearly. They have paid dearly for these mistakes. And the company, Tesla itself, is surging in profits, sales, debt load virtually nil, raising cash whenever they want it. They have paid billions in losses by betting against Elon Musk. I will say, however, there were probably short sellers who shorted Tesla at 900, 880, 870, and they've been having a field day buying it back in the last month or two, because for a while the shares did back all the way back down to the 500 something range. That did happen. So the shares were in the 500-600 neighborhood, and they had no problem buying back a bunch of their shorts. So some of them got money back, but it took them a long time to do it. But they already lost a ton, and the losses were had when the shares were 200, 300, and 400 to help the company run it up to the 1,000 and beyond. And the company raised that critical cash they needed 2+ years ago to build out their factory in Shanghai and finish the battery plant in Nevada, and continue to expand the company. Now, of course, with the Berlin factory, and now in Austin, Texas, and the launch of the Model 3 and the Model Y. Now the truck, this company is on fire. At $725 a share, Tesla, you multiply that price by 5, and you have the pre-split price of $3,850 a share approximately, when the stock used to be $2,300. So at $2,300, it was heavily shorted, and the bettors were betting the farm against these guys. And Elon and his allies picked up stock, and they ground those shorters into pulp as those shares went up to $1,000 a share and beyond. And then, of course, Elon was able to raise $5 billion a phone call. Every time he needed $5 billion more, he could raise it, no problem at all. He could still do that today. He could probably raise $15 billion in one phone call anytime he wants. GameStop can be in the same position if they want to be. It's just a question of timing and when and how. And number one priority right now, CEO. Number two, annual meeting. Number three, first quarter financial results. Number four, let's go with this stock. And that could happen all during this time frame in the middle of it all. And they can raise a bunch of dough if they want down the road. But we'll see, one step at a time. Dow now down 106, improving. S&P is down 77 points. 7.7 points, only 7.7. NASDAQ down 16. So we've got the markets coming around a little bit here, improving. Coinbase is down 774. I'm not surprised to see that. It's down to 325. I think it'll break 300. GameStop now 161.36. This seems to be the low range. Yeah, right around the low now. The low of the day, 161.10. And it's right there. Just touched it a few moments ago. 161.76 right now. Volume on GameStop this morning, 445,000 shares. Okay. AMC down 20 cents to 946 on volume of 2.9 million. Other stocks were following. Vector Acquisition down 19 cents a share to 1055. Pardon me, 1055. And Navsite Holdings down a penny at 986. IPOE up 12 cents to 1551. Gores Holdings up 21 cents to 12.32. VGAC only down 3 cents to 9.90. Starboard Value down 1 penny at 9.90. And Fortress Value unchanged, $10 even. Vanik down 115 to 245. Home Depot up 4 cents. IBM up 5.29 to $138 a share. Dow Jones now down 88 points, coming on gangbusters. Gangbuster gain now on the Dow. It got down to 33,936. It's come up 50 points in about 3 minutes. So the Dow is moving up aggressively right now. Good to see. I'm not surprised. I think it might have an up day today, actually. I think Dow might have a positive day. Microsoft up 14 cents. Apple down 32 cents. Tesla up $11. Bed Bath & Beyond up 70 cents to $25.79. Nice recovery there. BlackBerry down a penny to $8.61, unfortunately. What else have we got here? Royal Caribbean down $2.40 to $81.38. Norwegian down $1 to $26.88. Carnival down $1 to $25.90. Yesterday, if you don't know, the CDC ruled that they have extended their no-sale order, the effectiveness of their no-sale order for another 90 days into the middle of July now. That's official. So any hopes, any thoughts of a cruise starting in May or June or July, any thoughts that the governor of Florida through a legal action could force ports to open up, forget about it. It's not going to happen. The cruise lines know it. They now know they're not sailing until at least late summer, most likely the fall. And even that is off limits because the problem with these cruise lines and the public that want to sail on the cruise lines, even if people get vaccinated and the crews get vaccinated, the trouble is that vaccinations are anywhere from 70 to 90% effective to keep us from getting ill. The problem with this here is that if you have an 80% effective rate overall, and you have 1,500 passengers and 1,000 crew on a ship, that's 2,500 people on a cruise ship, of which 500 may not be protected. And there's the problem with the cruise lines. You get a cruise line now going to various countries in the Caribbean. Let's say you want to do a few stops. You have the possibility of 500 people becoming infected from the virus outside the USA and bringing it back. They don't know they're ill. They've only been on a 1-week cruise. They caught the virus, but they don't know they did catch the virus. And so, unfortunately, what's going on is the folks are spreading the virus, and they return to the U.S., going back to their 50 states from where they came from, and these 500 people are super spreaders for weeks not knowing they're ill. That is what the CDC knows. And what I think the CDC is waiting for right now, and I don't think we are aware of this piece of news. The CDC knows that millions of Americans have been vaccinated. We all are hearing the stats. It's great. And the number of vaccinations per day, fantastic numbers. I mean, the 100 million plus people, how many? A million a day, 2 million a day, 3 million a day? It's fabulous. Really great. Except for one thing. If 200 million Americans get vaccinated and 20% of them it doesn't take, that means 40 million people who've been vaccinated are not protected against variants of the virus. The CDC is waiting to find out how many of the 40 million will get infected and how many folks who've had the virus now get the shot and get reinfected as well. They want to know that number, and that takes time. That takes time to get. It takes time to happen, unfortunately. We're all guinea pigs in a big world of uncertainty right now, and the CDC and health authorities around the world are measuring everything from everyone to try to figure out what is this virus really up to, and how bad is it, and how bad is it going to be going forward? Can we snuff it out? But if we find that 20% of the people who've had the vaccines now get infected, say by 50% of them get infected in the next 6 months, we got a problem. We have booster shots coming out that may or may not work for these folks. We have variants on the vaccines coming out. This is a long-term war that isn't going to be over in 2 or 3 months. And this is why maybe the CDC yesterday said 90 more days. They've got to study the problem. They've got this, we got it. We're into the virus. Now we're trying to get out of it. And they've got to measure the success of the getting out. And you can't measure that in a week, 2 weeks. You have to measure that over months. And I suspect this is what's going on in Atlanta, where they have got surveys coming in from every hospital and health board and clinic around the USA, deluging data into, just dumping data into Atlanta. And they're absorbing it all, and then they're trying to piece it all together and try to figure out, okay, we found out that people are getting the virus for the second time. Let's look into their histories. Let's find out about, we've got, 1,000 new cases in this state. All right, of those 1,000 new cases, has anyone been inoculated for the first shot, the second shot, and how long ago? And let's figure this out. And that's what they need to know. They need to know they got infected before the vaccine took hold. Okay, then it's not the vaccine's fault. Fair enough. What about the next 1,000 batch coming in? Tomorrow, another batch coming in from this state, that state, that state. All the stats so they can understand just how bad this is. And then we'll see. This will determine the future of the markets. This will determine the future of travel. This will determine the future of the economy opening up. This will determine the future of home-based working. This will determine the future of real estate prices. It's going to determine everything. And you want to ignore it? Go ahead, ignore it. But the reality is the stats have to be studied, and we've got to know, can the virus be defeated with the vaccines or greatly affected? And the anti-vaxxers, and they're out there, you guys know this, how many are there really, and how bad is this going to be? Are we talking about the fact that super spreaders are purposely not getting vaccinated, not going to do it? No matter what you tell them, no matter what science you bring to the table, they're not going to do it. And the CDC is going to start measuring the effect of that. And I worry about someone who's been inoculated. They've had the shots months ago. They go to a gathering. Maybe they're going to church, or they're going to a wedding, or going to the shopping mall, just going to shopping mall. And there are people amongst them who are not inoculated, not getting the shots ever. They don't know it, but they're carrying the virus. They feel fine. They look fine. They're acting fine. Everything's fine. And a week or two later, people who've been inoculated are starting to pop up all over the place that are ill. And they've got the virus, and their inoculation didn't take hold. This is what the CDC wants to know, and they've got to know. They have got to know this information. So, folks, everything's on the line here going forward, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm telling you, this is a factor, and it's being studied globally in every G20 country, and health officials are going to try to monitor this in every country, period. But I worry about just the USA and Canada and Britain and Europe, the G20 countries. I just worry about these because for those of us who live in these countries, I can't go to Britain. I can't go to the UK. I can't travel to Germany. Germans can't come to Canada. I can't go to the USA. Americans can't come up here. I'm not going to be able to go on a cruise. These numbers, if they are as concerning as they could be, we're not going anywhere for another 2 years. 2 more years. Think about that and the effect on the economy going forward. You may find that certain states, no matter what evidence they're being presented with how bad it is, will not shut down again. And they will attempt to fight their way through it. The problem is you just delay the inevitable shutdown even further. And if it's a partial shutdown, or if it's a 50% shutdown, or if it's a travel shutdown, I mean, it gets to the point where the public will be so frustrated. But the reality of it is until everyone's on board with the solution, the problem persists. And this is where I don't know how this is going to go. I do everything I can to explain it to you, but I don't want to make you mad, but I can't lie to you. I gotta let you know what's going on. Can you believe people who believe this stuff, Dr. Ruth? That's a bold claim, but I'm sure you can't back up. We're going to find the numbers. We're going to know. What we do know is how the vaccines have been distributed in the last 2 months. We do know that. Since January, February, now March and April, it's almost 4 months, I guess. I got my shot last Wednesday, the first one. I don't get my second one for 4 months. 4 months I have to wait to get my second shot. There are people out there with their second shots. They've had them now for a couple of weeks. We're hoping that after 30 days that you've had your second shot, you are fully inoculated. That's what we all are hoping for. But we don't know. We're not going to know for probably 6 months if everyone who's got their second shot is truly protected. But in the next 6 months, we're going to find stats that are going to come out through the CDC and all the health boards, hospitals and regional authorities and state authorities, on and on it goes. Here in Canada, it'll be a national effort between the provinces. They'll all cooperate. And then we'll really know that, yeah, AstraZeneca said it was 80% effective. And we're going to find out it's 17.7% reinfection. It's 83% effective. They're right. Fantastic. The problem is 17% of the people who get the vaccine are still catching it. Now put that onto a cruise ship and put it on a big cruise ship. You get a cruise ship that can hold 6,500 people. They're going to go with 4,000 people on the ship and 1,500 crew. 5,500 people, 17% are susceptible to the virus. Hey, we're talking about 800 to 1,000 people on board a cruise ship that could catch this thing and then be super spreaders. Yeah, the remainder won't get ill. That's true. 80% won't get it. Fantastic. You're gonna go with your family on a cruise where 17% of the people on board a ship might get this virus. You remember how we freaked out last year in February when we saw that cruise ship in Japan with 15 cases of the virus, and it went to 30 and it went to 70 and people started dying. And there were a lot of people on the ship who didn't get sick. They didn't get ill, but they were put in quarantine and they had to go through months of hell before they could be home again. What about cruise ships coming back to Miami with 15 cases of the virus on board? My God, man. I don't know. I throw it up there and go, folks, I don't think we're that cool yet to be able to handle a recurrence of this. I think the panic will kick in the minute the first cruise ship comes back to Miami with 15 cases of the virus. Panic will ensue. And if people go home and then they find out that they're ill and they do their tracing and it comes back to 10 people on board the cruise ship who went off the ship in Jamaica or got off the ship on this private island or whatever, caught the virus. How? We don't know, but they did. And it's spread to all these people who have now gone home to all these different states, who are now spreading it to all their family and friends, because when they came back from the cruise, what did they do? They got together with their family and told them how much fun they had on their cruise. And they were spreading this virus, even though they've been vaccinated. They are all vaccinated. Everyone in the room is vaccinated. Yep, but 2 people out of 20 caught it from the person who caught it, didn't know they had it. That's what I'm talking about with what the SEC is doing right now. You think it's fake? Good luck. Good luck to you with all that. What can I tell you? Folks, I just don't know what's going to happen. I would love to tell you for sure we're going to be all right, but I don't know. 158.31 on GameStop right now. We're down $6. Volume 835,000 shares. Is there an attack going on? Could well be right now. Could well be right now. The low of the day, 158.25. We're kind of there right now. Volume is light. Stock is coming in. We're getting hit. The Dow down 100 points. Bad? No. S&P down 5 points. Bad? Not bad at all. NASDAQ up a point. Was down 100 odd or 20 something on the opening, wasn't it? The pre-market now up a point, up 2 points on NASDAQ. Markets are turning around on the big markets, but GameStop right now at 158.31 is under attack. 157.55, another new low, is what we're seeing right now. 155.53, volume 893,000 shares. How many shares are coming in on GameStop, and how long will the selling last is the question. Are you picking up dips? Are there people grabbing dips on the stock? Maybe. It's down 4% at 157.71, and we are quite used to this pattern, are we not? We are 26 minutes into the day, and guess what? There's a sell wave coming on GameStop. Welcome to Tuesday. No different than any other day. So there it is. What is happening? This is with this whole thing. All right. Thank you, everybody. 157.99, 158.49, 158.62. We might be popping a little bit here. Touched 157.40. Now 158.62. We're 158.40. We're about $1 higher than the low of the day at this point in time. 915,000 traded. We'll watch this closely, as we always seem to do. IBM 138.10 up 498, hanging right in there. The Dow down 95, S&P down 6, NASDAQ now down 3 points. Okay, jumping around a bit here as the markets are figuring out where they're headed next. Coinbase down $8. GameStop now 158.80, down 557, and the low of the day on GameStop 157.40. So we're up $1.40 from the low, down 606. AMC down 36 cents to 930. Low of the day 924. We're just about here on AMC at 5.4 million traded. So AMC is off, GameStop is off, Coinbase is off, Vector down 17 cents. IPOE up 28 cents. Gore's holding up 19 cents today. A couple of SPACs a little higher. Home Depot up a nickel. IBM up 4.75. Microsoft up $1.30. Apple up 45 cents. Tesla up $15. So on the blue chip side of things, the larger cap, we're doing all right. 158.29 on GameStop right now. That's what I'm showing at the moment. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the chat. Hope I'm not angering any of you out there. We'll just do the best we can. Bruce, avoid the chat. It's got electrolytes. Let's see. Anyone need to contact the company about our car's warranty expiring? Oh my gosh. Black X Pink. Hello. How about those bucks? Change the subject. Let's talk about anything else. How's that weather? Oh my. 158.84 on GameStop. Up $1.40 from the low. Volume around 900,000, 946 now, 946,000 traded. 159 on GameStop. Just popped a little again through the 159 barrier. If this selling isn't heavy, it's not going to last long. The stock will quickly rebound and pop the other direction. The Dow now down 119, S&P down 6.5, NASDAQ up a point again. So we're coming back on again. Little pickup. Let's see here. Let's go here. I don't try to get wound up, but you know, the weather here is crap. Calling for snow. Jay Doe and those dang squirrels. Good morning, gang, from Kevin. Opening a can of worms here, probably going to get nailed, but I'm not really scared of this virus. If people want to do things, maybe we should let them. Christopher, hey man, it's going to snow tomorrow in Ottawa. Yuck, morning. Volume is so low. So true. Volume 150, stock now 159.34 on GameStop. That is about, not quite, but almost $2 above the low. 159.56, definitely $2 above the low. Volume 965 on the stock for GameStop. Yeah. Bruce, I don't know if you've been asked about yesterday's comments about GameStop by Jim Cramer. Any thoughts? Don't know what Jim Cramer said. Does anyone want to tell me? And what do you think? Do you agree with Jim Cramer or what? But I didn't watch it because I was watching. It was with you yesterday when he was talking. 159.37 down $5 on the GameStop shares. 982,000 traded on the day. AMC down 34 cents, 932. Coinbase down to 324, down 823. Okay, down 101. Not the low of the day. Down 94. Actually, probably at its best level today right now for the Dow. Okay, guys, thank you all of you for being here. Let's go here. Kramer said needs more Coca-Cola. Laugh out loud. I don't know what that means. Or does he need more Coca-Cola? I don't know. Jim Cramer is a two-faced liar. Thank you, Skippy, for that thought. He'll say what he's paid to say, says Skippy. Okay. Too much Italian food in the Boston North End. There you go. That's the problem right there with the world. GameStop, 158.19, coming off a little bit again. Can you talk about infinite max loss on covered calls? Infinite maximum loss on covered calls. If you have shares and you write covered calls, all the money you could lose is your stock goes to zero. That's how you could lose money. Your shares go to zero, you lose money. If you're writing calls on GameStop right now, and it's a 158 a share, you're writing 160 calls or $200 calls. The stock goes up. You will not get the benefit of the gain over and above the premium you received for the shares, the contracts you wrote, and the exercise price on the shares that you're pledging. So if you write $200 calls and you get $20 a share for the call, you're selling at $220. You're locking yourself into a sale for a certain amount of time to a high of $220. Now, the stock goes to $320, you don't get the extra $100. Fair enough. You can get out of the call by buying it back and then writing new calls, but you'll lose money on that transaction, obviously. If you sold the call at 20, you got to buy the call back at 50. You've lost $30 on the call, but you can write new calls at a higher price and get back 20 again. You're still out $30, but your stock went up, and there's a negating factor there. And if the shares go even higher, then the new series of calls you've written, theoretically, you could lose out on additional gains if the stock just keeps running away from you. But the worst scenario you'll have on writing covered calls would be the shares go to zero. The company goes out of business and you've got nothing. Well, GameStop from 158 to zero is kind of a bit of a stretch, wouldn't you say? So I don't think that's going to be an issue. Yeah, sure. If the stock goes to $1,000 tomorrow morning, first thing in the morning, it's trading at $1,000 a share. You sold $200 calls for $20 a piece. You're getting $220. You're not getting $1,000. Fair enough. What do you think the odds are of that? Do you want to give me some odds? Anyway, there you go. I don't view that as a big issue. Okay. Christopher says, experience is the greatest cure for ignorance. Remember that. Very good. He still believes GameStop was overvalued. He could be right. He could be right. He could be very correct. Amazon is overvalued. Maybe Apple is overvalued right now. Maybe IBM is overvalued right now. All stocks could theoretically be overvalued. If the interest rate environment changes overnight, all stocks are overvalued. All of them. If interest rates go to 7-8%, stocks are 50% overvalued right now. Bonds would be overvalued because they're going to have to come down in value to bring up their yields. Everything would be overvalued. What do you think the odds are that interest rates are going to be 7% next week? I would not bet for that.
I would really not take that bet at all. The amount of money being printed by central banks, economies are in such a state, there is no way that interest rates are going anywhere for a long time. So shares are fairly priced. The market is telling us that the shares are fairly priced no matter what the stock you're looking at, including GameStop. Right now, it's fairly priced. We might not like the fact that it's 158. We don't like it, but that's where it is. Nick, DFV, Roaring Kitty for CEO. No, I don't think so. Not the guy you want in there. GameStop, 157.86. We're approaching the low of the day again. Another wave of selling coming in. Let's see how much power is behind this wave. We need a dip. We'll get one. If the stock drops another, where was it? 164. Drops $16 overall. Another $10. We're into the 10% rule, but we're not close to that at the moment. 158.41. We're $1 from the low of the day right now. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Bruce, GameStop's short interest is up to 13%. It's up 13% to 29%. This can't go on much longer. One good bullish day could start tipping wires to squeeze, the tripping wires to squeeze. I think that's why DFV doubled up his position. I suspect that DFV, if he used this as an excuse, that's one, but he has others, and we've talked about these. CEO coming in, higher numbers for the first quarter, change of power at the directorship level. He's in for the haul. He's in for the big haul. He likes what he sees. By the way, 159 on GameStop just popped right now, just popped up. So it's coming on right now with a bit of a run here. Just double checking here on stock. Still not showing those numbers that you're showing about short interests officially, but we'll keep an eye open for this. We'll take it. And laughing out loud, I'm pretty sure DFE isn't looking for work anymore. I don't think so either. I agree with that. Let's see. Let's get him in for community manager. Great fit. The man can meme. Maybe we should just leave him right where he is. Leave him right where he is, being the cheerleader of this stock on the outside without any conflicts of interest, and let him just talk. Let him talk as a shareholder spokesman. I like this guy right where he is. I haven't got a problem with it. Does he need a day job right now? I don't think so. Let's see. Let's see what's going on here. Olivia, you got lots of Kramer jokes. Cody, that's a role he could fill. But all joking aside, if I was Keith, I'd never work another day in my life, and I'm with him on that. I agree. And Bruce, please talk about stock buybacks. Do you have an opinion about the P&G stock buyback? I don't have an opinion. I don't know the numbers. I'm not a huge fan of stock buybacks. Not a huge fan. But I do see there are times where stock buybacks make a lot of sense. When GameStop bought back 36 million shares of their stock at an average of $5.19 a share back in 2019, in case you folks don't know, they did that. That is when there were 70 million shares shorted. There were 120-something million shares in existence. GameStop bought back 36 million of their own stock to bring their share count down to 70 million, which equaled how many shares were shorted now, which eventually set it up a massive short squeeze that eventually took place a year and a bit later. It took a long time to happen, but it did happen. That company used 175 million of its own money that it had to take away from its retail selling operation, probably borrowed it. However they got their hands on it, they bought back 35 million of their own shares to tighten up the number of shares outstanding to 70 million, which equaled the number of shares outstanding. That was the move of moves for GameStop shareholders, management, and the corporation's future. The worst thing to happen to hedge funds was when GameStop made that move, because it cost those hedge funds ultimately billions of dollars in losses because they were greedy buggers. They were short. Even when the stock went to $2.16 a share, they didn't buy it back. They could have bought all their stock back between $2 and $6 over a year. They could have bought it back, and they didn't. And then they paid dearly a terrible price. Today, 159.66. There are short positions out there, and they are idiots carrying a short position right now on GameStop, because this company's stock is not going back to $10 a share or $20 a share or $40 a share. It is not going back there. So many shareholders are out there now in the retail space that own between a half a share and 50 shares each. That's tens of millions of shares that are not coming back, not anywhere near under 500 a share coming back. This stock at 159.40 is a fraction of where it's going to go. And if you're short this stock, God help you. You guys are going to lose billions. But I can't tell you about the P&G stock buyback. I don't know if it's a good idea for companies to buy back stock when you're into the billions of dollars of value. Maybe the best thing that P&G could do is use that money, instead of buying back stock, buy up competitors and expand your business. Maybe that's a way to go. Maybe what the best thing to do is, you got a bunch of cash lying around, do a special cash dividend for shareholders. Reward them for being shareholders. That'll pop your market. Or announce an increase in the dividend. Bump it up by 15%. Make your stock a dividend play as well. Give it a yield. But I can't help these guys. You remember, if the management of this company, Procter & Gamble, if the management of the company collectively, all the directors and all the senior officers all own only 2% of the company, they don't give a damn about the long-term viability of the company. What do they give a damn about? The short-term trading value of the stock, because the board of directors will be on there for between 5 and 15 years, and that's it. They'll earn a bunch of stock for their service, and they want a reward of a capital gain when it's all said and done. CEOs, senior vice presidents, directors of other divisions, these top guys, they're there for 5 to 20 years each. They're never going to own the company. They're going to retire out, leave the company with a 401k, sitting with a whole bunch of stock. If the stock can double or triple or quadruple during their lifetime that they're there, that's their reward. Nobody in that company owns half the stock and is a family-owned business for the long term. Not the case. And so you get these stock buyback programs. They're going to buy up the stock and tighten up the holding and try to run the market this way so that they cash in on their stock options. And that's what they're looking for. Just saying. Anyway, there you have it. What can I tell you? Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where a lot of people are interested in the stock's value going up short term. They're not interested in the long-term viability of the company like an owner would be. And there you have it. That's my take on it. I could be wrong, though. Thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you for popping in and seeing me. 159 on GameStop right now, the low 157.40. Thank you for following my show today. We have 992 thumbs ups right now. It would be really cool if you guys could throw a thumbs up my way if you're able to do this. Please hit the thumbs up button and give us some momentum on this measure. If we get to 1,500 thumbs ups, that would be a real sign of you folks watching us and enjoying what we're doing. I appreciate it. If you can, hit the thumbs up button. We just broke 1,000 thumbs ups right now. Keep those thumbs ups coming in, guys, and hit it hard. Show YouTube that this channel is worthy of viewership, and I appreciate it very, very much. We are rolling over there. Thank you again for being here. And like I say, we are watching the markets. The Dow down 148, unfortunately. It's just not catching a bid at the moment. We've got S&P down 10. We've got NASDAQ down 22. So unfortunately, the markets are not adding to the gains. They had a little look there into the green for a couple of the indexes, but nothing much. GameStop now at 158.88. The volume on GameStop to this point in time is now showing us 1.28 million. Very quiet compared to yesterday. Yesterday, after an hour of trading, we were over 5 million shares. We're now not even at 1.2 million in about 45 minutes. So we're not even going to be at 2 million shares on the opening hour today. Very quiet. The stock did get to 157.40. It recovered back to the 160 range. Now it's at 158.61. We're $1.20 from the low of the day as we might be coming into another wave of selling. We'll watch this obviously closely. We've got, other than that, we have Coinbase down 820. We have AMC at 928, down 38 cents, and that is 4 cents from its low of the day. So it's taking a second shot down. We have Vector Acquisition down 19, NavSite down 2 cents, IPOE up 17, Gores Holdings up 9, VGAC down a penny, Starboard flat, and Fortress down 2 pennies. Nothing much going on in the SPAC game today. We've got IBM at 578, the winner on the Dow, up to 138.90. If any of you followed my stock pick on this one when it was 119, 120, 121, way to go. Hold on and enjoy the ride. Looks very good. Microsoft is up 37 cents. Apple is down 32 cents. Nothing going on here. Tesla down $17. Other stocks of note, Amazon down $16. Disney down 256, Facebook down 237, Google down 354. There's nothing happening here of any massive amount. There's something happening on the Dow. I don't know which of the Dow stocks are taking the hit. I kind of wonder, why is the Dow 30 dropping in value today? Who is it? Let's see if we can get any look at the Dow 30. Let's take a peek here. Dow 30 components right now. We are taking a look here at some stocks. Percentage change. American Express down 1.3%. Apple down 0.2%. Boeing is down 3.2%. Caterpillar down 1.6%. Cisco down 1.6%. Chevron down 1.6%. Goldman Sachs down 1.7%. Other than that, who is losing ground? JP Morgan down 1.2%. Nike down 3%. It's down $4 a share. And other than that, Walgreens is down 1.1%. Walt Disney down 1.4%. Dow Incorporated down 2.1%. So there is no big time bleeder on the market. I mean, there's no one stock on the Dow getting absolutely crushed. It's just not. We do have some shares that are higher today. Other than IBM, we've got Amgen up 0.5 percentage point. Got Johnson & Johnson up 1.3. Coca-Cola up 0.4. McDonald's is up 0.3 of a percentage point. Merck and Company up almost 1%. Microsoft up 1/5 of a point. Travelers is up 1.3%. They came out with an increased earnings today. United Healthcare up 0.67. So the big stocks are not having a bloodbath or anything like that at all. It is just the way the market is. Johnson & Johnson vaccine, EU agency says possible blood clot link with Johnson & Johnson vaccine, but says benefits outweigh the risks. Absolutely. You're talking about millions of people who are getting these vaccines and a few dozen that might be affected by it. This is, through all clinical trials, a very good result for the company's vaccines. So can't say that you have to be worried about the J&J vaccine at all. All right. Thank you, all of you, for being here, following me, being part of this channel. 1,100 thumbs ups and counting. Thank you very much for bringing in those thumbs ups. I appreciate that. And we'll see what's going on. Sorry, folks. Not a lot to talk about at this point. 160 on GameStop. It's recovered now, back to 160. This is a gain from the 157.40. That's a 260 gain. Volume 1.35 million. Not heavy, but yet very light volume. The stock has just recovered into the 160 neighborhood again. Will it go through 160 like butter? Hot knife through soft butter? 159.93. Maybe not. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. It's jumping around here and hanging around this 160 neighborhood. We'll keep an eye on it. See if it wants to break through this number. The Dow down 128. S&P down 9. NASDAQ down 22.5. That's where we're at right now. Thank you for joining me today and being here, watching this market do what it does. AMC, unfortunately, down 36 cents to 9.30. All right. Anyway, there you go. 6 people out of 7 million doses. Lindsay, you got it. What is the bagel plan today? What should I have for my bagel today? Oh, Jen just came through the hallway. She is here. The timing couldn't be better, guys. Incredible. What should the bagel plan be? Should I have a bagel with egg and cheese on it? Should I have a bagel with egg, cheese, and maybe a slice of ham in there? Should I just have a variety of meat on my bagel today? Should it be grape jelly like yesterday? We had a good day yesterday on the stock, what do you think? You guys tell me what I should be doing. Butter on the stock. Unfortunately, 129, 159.25. Olivia, Jen is here. Yoo-hoo, woohoo. People are going, you need ketchup. That's the first thing you're going to need is ketchup.
Well, if there's ketchup, then there's egg.
That's true. If there's ketchup, there's egg. I mean, come on.
Ain't no two ways about that.
Great. GM says Jen, says Adventures with Duncan. GM Jen. Good morning, Jen from Adventures with Duncan. Who says hi?
Good morning, Duncan.
Good morning, Duncan. Jen for the save says Derek. Bama Babe picked up my IBM shares at 120 and tucked them away in my IRA. Thanks for the tip. You got it, buddy. Bruce, have you done any research on SPAC AGC? They are supposed to merge with a Singapore company called Grab, which is a mega app that many people use. I like it's like Uber, Amazon. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan of that deal. It was a 40 billion? It was a huge deal. It was like a huge 14 billion. It was a lot of money on the so-called enterprise value. Not a fan of delivery stocks as a whole. Not a fan. Maybe FedEx, maybe UPS, but not not these. That's just me. John Anderson saying hi, Jen. Glitchfizz, hi, Jen. Wally's World, just paying it forward. Thank you, sir, so much. Skippy saying bagel time. I'm thinking egg, ham, and cheese with some ketchup. That I think would be the way to go. Yeah.
I see to celebrate 420, all of the cannabis stocks are in the red.
Woohoo! Yeah, good luck with cannabis stocks. In Canada, they bleed money like crazy.
Yeah.
They're just, everyone thought in Canada would be just easy money in Canada. Not happening. You've got distribution problems. You have every province, like in the U.S., every state with its own rules. Distribution nightmares everywhere. Packaging problems, labeling problems. Supply problems. And then in each town and city you want to operate one of these outfits, has to be mom and pop shops, can't be nationally run firms, no synergy, no volume efficiencies. It's
still got to find a dealer you like.
You still got to find a dealer you like, even in the stores. How about that? See, there it is, right there.
I'll leave them with 420 and go make a bagel.
Thank you, Jen. That's fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. Protein bagel, and ketchup. Hi, Auntie Jen. Bagel, egg, cheese, ham, and don't forget the ketchup. That's right, Jake. We're making it happen. Thank you, Jen, and thank you all of you for being here today, hanging out with me this morning. Appreciate your company today. I like the Tim Hortons 12-grain bagel. Bruce, try a cream cheese and fried egg bagel. Derek Jansen, not a bad plan. Jen for the win. Bruce, I think waffles might be a good choice this morning. Florida here, having fun in the sun. Deanna, welcome. The cheese, the cream cheese mixes the runny yolk, and it's amazing. Thank you, Bruce. Says John. Derek, my old pizza guy would bring you pizza smokes, and when he sold weed too. Now that's a pizza guy you tip. Stock markets with Bruce. Matterport released an app comparable with their 3D imaging. Why are you not a fan of delivery stocks? I'm not a fan of delivery stocks like DoorDash. I'm not a fan of delivery stocks like Uber, because they get a slice of the action, but they can be licensed out of business. They can be legislated out of business. They can be municipalitied into submission. They could be city taxed into all kinds of problems. They can be state taxes. They can be they can have employee changes thrust upon them where they have to pay compensation, sick days, holiday pay legislation, minimum pay minimums. They can be ground into a pulp by regulators and new regulations. They don't own any assets. They don't own the vehicles that these drivers drive. They don't own buildings. They are simply middlemen between you, the customer that orders the item, and the delivery guy, and they take a percentage from the restaurant. And I'm getting the impression, and I'm getting a hunch, that there might be more and more of the restaurants and customers of these outfits that might say, it's not worth it to us. The cut is too high to these outfits. And if these outfits have to now pay certain minimum wages and benefits and health coverage and everything else by legislation that could grind them out of business. It could grind their margins to a real slim margin, and I don't trust it. It's not that I don't trust the companies. I don't actually have a problem with the entrepreneurs that create these businesses. They're geniuses, smart people, incredible software creators, everything else. I don't trust the jurisdictions in where they operate. That is what I don't trust. And you want to put your life in the hands of the mayor of New York City or the city council of Los Angeles or the legislature of a certain state, you go, knock yourself out. I don't buy it. I'm not into that kind of a blank check trust factor. That's where I have the problem with these kinds of stocks. Okay, that's just how I'm looking at it. Pizza Guy's a renaissance man. I was in Vietnam last year. Grab is huge out there. It's more common than Uber or Lyft there because you can even order a scooter ride. Yeah, well, for now, we'll see. GameStop was at 167 pre-market going up, then goes down. Hedges are shorting. By the way, this is the dip. Buy it. It's 159.60 right now on GameStop. It is closer to the low than to the high. The high was 164.89 on the market on the New York exchange during the day, but pre-market it was 167. 157.40 is the low. 159.40 right now. $2 from the low of the day. This is dip territory. The question is, will it dip lower than it has, or will it surge from here? The chart so far looks awful, but then again, encouraging. It is a down dip right there all the way until where we are now. And the question now, is this a step in the right direction? Is this the first step up? Are we going to market our way up here from here? It could. 159.65 right now. Down only 472 on the day. That's not a lot of volume, not a lot of dollar movement on the downside. Volume now 1.4 million on the day, almost 1.5 million shares. Light. Yesterday at this time, we were approaching 5 million volume. So very quiet at this point. 159.24 looks to be the price at this point in time. All right, Derek, I know a guy in high school who did that, delivered pizzas and joints. His best customer was the sheriff's son. Yeah, how about that? Oh, man. Rennie for now, bagel, ketchup, butter, jelly, anti-gen is a diamond. There you go. I prefer to directly investing into the wheat products instead of the stocks. I just can't make myself take Doge seriously. Anyone else muted the computer, then can't remember doing it and can't figure out what's happening and why no sound is coming out? Says Colin, broker, black market is king when it comes to cannabis. Is Newegg accepting Doge yet? I might have to make some crepes. ENA, support local business. That joke. The joke is that Doge is under $1, and if you buy one coin, it's not life-changing. Let's see. Say you like crepes, Ricky Bobby. Let's go. They could underpay their drivers out of business. That's right, too. That is true. Maple syrups, waffles with real maple syrup. Bacon, cream cheese, or spinach, artichoke, cream cheese on everything bagel is my jam. Jen is going, ooh. Yeah, done, that's his column. Wonder why IPO is being held up. IPOE right now up 6 cents to 15.45. Gore's Holdings up 14 cents to 12.24. GameStop 159.39. Right at the moment in time. That's where we're at on this market. Let's see. Bruce, are you still a fan of the 7 SPACs? Oh, yeah. All of them. Every one of them. I love them all. Can't wait for them all to change out. You asked me this question about a month after they've all converted. Then we'll talk. Right now, I can't wait for this to happen. Ketchup and jelly? No, just ketchup. Let's go here. I meant the IPO merger. I don't think anything is holding it up. I'm sure it's happening. It's undergoing. My hunch is that most companies thought that their mergers would take 90 days. But I think what they're finding out is that the key people involved in doing these mergers and all the due diligence and all of the reporting and everything else, they're all working from home. Nobody's working at the office. And there is never one office that handles all the paperwork between two corporations, and a merger onto a stock exchange. It's not done in one place. It's done in remote locations, different jurisdictions. If the head company's office, the head office of the private company is in one city in one state, and the head office of the public company is in another state in another city, you've got jurisdictional things to figure out. You got to figure out the incorporation of the final entity when it's all said and done. You got to redo the whole darn minutes of the company. You got to redo the entire stock option incentive program for all investors, all shareholders, all employees. It's so complicated that it could take us longer than 100 days because it's not being done at the office anymore. It's being done at remote locations. There might be 24 people involved in all the paperwork to do this, and it's being done remotely at 24 separate locations around the country while we're sitting here. For us, it's easy. We're just waiting for it to get done. We don't have to do we have to do all the dirty work. The sausage making is what's holding this up. It is a lot of complicated filing work, and I give them all the slack they want. They're heroes. These folks are heroes when it's all said and done. Okay. Let's go. Liver, raw onion, mustard on a pumpernickel slice of bread. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Oh, 160.30, 160.40. We're just cracked through 160 like butter. English muffin with butter and Nutella. That makes a lot of sense. Thanks. I had a dream that I was playing a Sopranos pinball machine last night. Oh my God, our SPAC mergers are managed by an army of sweatpants, in sweatpants. That's true. An army in sweatpants. That's probably it. 160.26 on GameStop, moving through the 160 level without any issue, really. 160.55, volume 1.54 million. Go GameStop. Let's see here. Let's go. The sausage making? Are you wearing pants? That's a secret. Can't talk to you about that. But you notice how I'm always smiling? I'm so comfortable. Let's not go there. Okay. What's happening? Where are we going? Bill Coyne, I tried to think you're correct, but wonder what the decentralized nature of legalization thus far will do to that assumption. Hopefully they can resist the consolidation. Yeah, if you're thinking about buying a weed stocks, you can forget about it. It's a world of hurt. You're just in a world of hurt because these weed stock companies do not know the nightmare they're about to run into regarding statewide legislation, citywide, countywide, health board, all kinds of nightmares. So I tell you, every town and every city is going to restrict weed stores in their neighborhoods. It'll almost be impossible to find locations, and the landlords know it. They know that their location is the one and only location you can have a weed store. $5,000 a month rent, $10,000 a month rent, $20,000 a month rent. It's just going to be impossible. It's not going to be good. That cost extra to see his pants, and your hands aren't on the screen. See, that's the other thing. You can't even see my hands, and you don't even know if I'm wearing pants. And look at how happy I am. Oh, you guys are in trouble. Oh my. Oh no. Thomas is going, oh no, not again. Here we go. We've got ketchup here from Jen. Thank you, ketchup. Thank you, Jen.
And we have egg.
We got, oh, look at that.
Cheese.
Oh,
the last of the ham.
Look at that.
That goes on the grocery list.
And look at that.
Just almost perfectly baked bagel.
Perfectly toasted.
Quality control.
Perfectly toasted bagel. Thank you, Jen, so much. Oh, man, I can't wait to dig into this.
I'll get you a nappy.
Oh, well, we have two here.
A serviette.
Uno servietto. Chris Kling, $10 donation. I know this. It smells like, you know what, in here. But when the shares you call traded at 170 million, do you know they really didn't get out? What? Sorry. Thank you. Yeah. So when the shares you called traded 170 million, how do you know they didn't get out? It's possible, but I think what we had is turnover. We had a lot of turnover, and we always do. There will always be shorters in these markets. There will always be shorters. There's shorters right now in Tesla. There's shorters right now. Even at these high levels, it doesn't matter. They're all over the place on all these stocks. By the way, 159.71. I'm about to dig into my bagel. So we're just under the 160 mark on the stock. So let's see how the stock performs as this 4-foot, 8-inch YouTuber without pants on, one hand showing, gets into his bagel. Are you nervous yet? Let's see what happens. Oh, yeah. So good. Oh, yeah. Thank you, everybody. Tom Henry thinks he knows what I'm wearing. Jake, if you want to buy wheat stock, why not buy Altria with the big dividend and the probability that as soon as wheat is federally legalized, they'll get in on it? You got to wonder. Bruce, don't you think the phrase "don't invest anything you're not prepared to lose" is kind of a doomer, pessimistic? If it's a blue chip, it's pretty safe. Even if there's a crash over the long term, you win. Can you hang through the crash? That's the thing. Some people can't. We're back to 160.27 on GameStop. We're going up. Here we go. Woohoo! Too much information about the pants, man. Jen with another perfect bagel. 160.11. I smell a dip. Thanks, Jen. Well done, Jen. That looks so good. Laughing with Bruce. Oh, man. 160.12 right now. Let's go. You can't see his hands because he's holding my hair. Oh no, oh no, oh no. So much for the PG ratedness of this channel. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Oh, you people out there. You kids. Oh, you get me in trouble. Oh, that is funny. That is funny though. That is funny. I'll give you that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Baked baking. Bruce, have you considered opening an OnlyFans page? OnlyFans page? Oh. No. Oh, man. Please put your pants on. Oh, okay. Oh my God. 159.20. We're going the wrong direction. Come on, stock. Let's go. Come on. Go higher. Come on. Oh boy. Oh my gosh. Watching GameStop today is like watching paint dry, only less exciting. Ray's laughing. I haven't worn pants in work in over a year, and it's glorious. Dress pants now feel like a cage of discomfort. There you go. Oh boy. Yes. Oh, so much fun. Follow the money. Oh, these comments, funny. Bruce is loose. Oh my goodness. $159.03 on GameStop. Come on, GameStop. My bagel has scrambled egg. Scrambled egg. Bruce, you need plants on the desk behind you. I sell them, but I can't ship them across the border. I have to reorganize this behind me. It's just a mess, but we're doing the best we can. This is the calm before the storm. We're at 159.13 on the stock. Tank top, shorts, and flip-flops, and that's when I get dressed up, says Bill. Yes, plants. You need plants, Bruce. Let the plants pick the stonks. Oh, man. 159.13, 159.38. Looks like we're at this level right now. Dow down 188 on the Dow. S&P down 16, NASDAQ down 56. So the markets are at the low of the day on the big board, unfortunately. So I continue to eat a bagel with ketchup and egg and ham and hope that we can move this market higher on GameStop. But we are at 158.82, 159.13. Come on, GameStop. Uncle Bruce between two plants, between two ferns. Here we go. Both boards have approved the VGAC merger. How long should it take for the stockholder vote to happen? This I don't know. I don't know the exact details on that. I'm sure it's in the works. 159.02. Come on. Oh my God. From Jeremy. Thank you for the donation, Jeremy. Bruce, can you give a shout out to EK1 Gaming? He is streaming now, and he's a great guy. He does charity streams and deserves to have his channel grow. Make it happen, my man. Go and get it. Make that channel grow for you. And all the best to you. Thank you for the donation too. Thank you. 158.69 is where we're at right now. What can I say? We love you here, Bruce. It's going to be a super duper sideways Bruce, between two Bruces for his OnlyFans page.
If you grew a beard, maybe you'd look like Galifianakis. What do you think? Between two ferns.
Yeah, if I grew a beard, I'd look like Galifianakis. The two ferns.
And shave your head.
And shave my head. Between two plants.
It's more here. I forgot to turn the water on. I have to turn the water.
Incredible. $158.30. Dow is down 234 now. Down 234 on the Dow. S&P down 24. NASDAQ down 96. All right. Give me a sell wave. If the Dow wants to take a little drop, give it to me now. Get it out of your system, kids. Get your stock sold and let's move on. $158.02 on GameStop. Coming down to another low here. 157.89. Bruce's OnlyFans, where we pay extra to watch a dot control a line that makes a chart. Jen liked that one. We'll pay to watch Bruce play X's and O's with himself. 158 on GameStop. Oh my God. Oh, so funny. 157.81. 41 cents away from the low of the day. Could you have Jen make a bagel with grape jelly? Maybe tomorrow, but not right now. I'm stuffed. Oh man. Oh my gosh. David, would it be easier to just blend those bagels than drink them so you wouldn't have to chew? It'll save a lot of time, man. Oh boy. 157.71. 31 cents from the low of the day. 1.7 something million. 1.79 million traded. Oh my gosh. Very quiet day today. Really quiet. Less than a third of yesterday's volume at this point in time, I think, during the day. Dow is down 247, S&P down 26, NASDAQ down 113. That's where we're at. Oil's down 16 cents. It's gone negative now. Coinbase down 710 to 325. AMC down to $9.14 on down 52 cents on a volume now of 10.6 million. Very quiet day on AMC, and it's getting hammered. Really getting a straight shot down. GameStop 158.10. Just doesn't seem to want to hit a new low. It was 157.40 this morning. We're watching to see if this market wants to go any lower or not. Let's go. Any more selling pressure coming in here? 158.16 on GameStop right now. Vector acquisition down 32 cents to 10.40. IPOE has gone negative, down 38 cents to 15.01. All the SPACs have turned negative, couple of pennies. Home Depot down $3. IBM still up 483. It's the one winner, but it is off its highs. The IBM got as high as 139.77, now 137.80. Microsoft holding a 20-cent gain. Apple down $1. Tesla up $10. Dow down 245. Basically the low of the day. It's just about at the low of the day. Okay. Losses are being led by Boeing and Nike. Take a look right now. We have, let's get this refreshed and see if we're up to speed here. There we go. We have American Express down 274, down 1.8%. These are the Dow 30s. Apple down 0.7 of a percentage point. Nothing serious. Down $1. Boeing down $9, down 3.8%. That's the drag on the Dow. Caterpillar down 488. It's a $227 stock, down 2%. Cisco down 84 cents, down 1.5%. Chevron down $2.29 a share, down 2.1%. That's dragging the Dow lower. Goldman Sachs down 2.4%. Banking stock. Home Depot down 1 percentage point. Honeywell down 1.5%. IBM up 3.5%. Intel down 1.1%. JP Morgan down 1.5%, another bank. Nike down 3.5% today, down $4.57 a share. And anyone else having a day here? Walgreens Boots Alliance down 1.3%. Walt Disney Company down 2.2%, down to $4.22 a share to 183. The Dow Company, chemical company, down 2.9% today. Those are your drags on the Dow right now. As of this moment in time. That's what we're seeing here. Let's go here. Volume on GameStop, 1.8 million. We're at 158.23. Still just kind of jumping around, hanging around, sloughing around. 157.85 and 157.40 was the low of the day. We're not yet there, but we're in the neighborhood. Let's be honest. We're in the neighborhood for GameStop at 157.85, 45 cents below from the low. 158.23, just above the not quite $1 above the low. All right, let's see. Let's see, Uncle Bruce. When the hedge funds trade back and forth, doesn't it just cost them more money? Oh, I see what you mean. Well, if they're day trading and they're they're selling at one. They're selling GameStop at 160 and buying at 158. They're making $2 a trade. So if they're flipping 1,000 shares at a time, it's $2,000. I mean, there are hedge funds that only day trade stocks, and if they're day trading GameStop, they're trying to either catch it low, sell it high, buy it low, and they're doing minute to minute, hour to hour, 20 minutes at a time positions, in and out, out and in, in and out, out and in. That's all they're trying to do. Hopefully, have more winners than losers. And they'll momentum trade a stock. They'll watch the Dow, they'll watch the S&P 500, they'll watch the Nasdaq market, and they'll trade off of that momentum as well. That's what all day traders do that are momentum traders. GameStop 157.57. We're just 17 cents off the low of the day now on GameStop. 157.57, right at that level, 20 cents away approximately from this low of the day. Okay. And Dave wants to know who's hotter, Audrey Hepburn or Sophia Loren. You can whisper the answer in case you don't want Jen to hear. Both are either of them still alive? I think Sophia is still alive. I'm not sure about Audrey. I don't know if Audrey's still with us. What was Audrey Hepburn? 105 pounds soaking wet, and Sophia was always a voluptuous one. Both beautiful people and did everything for charity, and oh man, real examples of tremendous people. But hotter, I don't know. And neither is my style. Neither was my style. 158.08 on GameStop, still above the low of the day of 157.40, but we're in the neighborhood, no doubt about it. The Dow down 250, low of the day. S&P down 28.9 and Nasdaq 117 on the downside. So we're at right now on the stocks. We're at just about the low of the sessions. Is this beginning of another drop, or do we get a mass turnaround here because there's just no follow through of stock? Usually selling happens in a hurry. Selling is quick. Momentum is dramatic. I'm not seeing a heavy momentum day happening here. Yeah, the Dow's down 268. I'll give it that, but it's not even 1%. That's not even a percentage point. So I don't know what's going on here. Let's see. Well played, sir. Smooth operator. 157.42. Have we got the low of the day now? 157.42. 2 cents from the low of the day. There's buying here. Will it go through like butter to 157, 156? We need the stock to drop to we need to drop $16 from 164. So 148, it's got to get to 140. That's a long way away from the 10% rule. GameStop is only down 3.8%. It is not down near enough to get anywhere near the 10% rule. 157.53, 13 cents above the low of the day. There's not a I mean, is there a wave coming here? Are we supposed to watch something? I don't see it. 1.88 million now. Volume dead quiet. 157.68. 1.89 million on the stock. We're not going to get anywhere near SSR here. This stock is $10 away from that. I don't see that happening right now. Dow down 283. S&P down 31. Nasdaq down 135. No exchange is, the closest exchange to a 1% drop is Nasdaq, finally reaching 1%. 157.82 on the stock. The low is 157.40. We're not getting it. We're really not getting this sell wave. 157.76. Yeah. There's definitely a lack of paper, a lack of activity. I got to say, AMC 916 was down to 907. GameStop now 157.76. on 1,896,000 shares. Stock's moving like a cactus. Bruce, help me. I sold my Hertz at a profit. Now I'm buying up Wendy's. Too much fun. Love your bad nephew. I don't know what Wendy's is all about. Adventures Duncan, 165.32 was the high. That would have been earlier today, of course. 157.40 the low, 157.96 right at this moment in time. Dow down 294, still inching lower. NASDAQ down 137, S&P down 32 points. 157.87 on GameStop. We're all just sitting here holding our breath, watching. Is this going to have any negative volume here? Is this going to give up some ghost? The volume at 1.89 million. There's nothing happening here. This is just turnover volume. Dominic, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show. There's nothing to get excited about here. 157.70 right now on this market. Thank you for 1,200 thumbs ups today, everybody. I really appreciate that. 68 on the downside, 1,200 on the upside. Throw some thumbs ups our way if you can spare one. That would be terrific. The Dow 30 to get another update on these guys. We're looking at Boeing down $10 a share. Caterpillar down 5. American Express down 320. We got Chevron down 270. Honeywell down 390. Home Depot down 390. Goldman Sachs down 965. So these are taking some hits here, but these shares are in the hundreds. Nike down $5, and Walt Disney down 488. 158.04. We have not hit a new low on GameStop. 158.04 did not break 157.40 for the low of the day. It did not happen. We may have touched it again, but we don't think we broke through it. Watching closely here. No, we got 1 penny below it. 157.39. We got 1 penny below the low, and that was it. 1.92 million. We're now at 158.05. What is GameStop going to do? The Dow is now down 267. It just jumped 30 points on the plus side. A little rally, maybe a little dead cat bounce here. Just a little fake out rally. Oil down $1.01 a barrel to 62.37. GameStop 158.56, up $1.17 from the low just a moment or two ago. 158.56. That's where GameStop is. 158.72, a little better. Again, GameStop a little better, but not a lot to jump up and down on about here. Yeah, it's watching paint dry. I wonder which next random dates gang is going to hype up. They need to turn the volume up to 11. All the traders' edibles just kicked in. They're watching cat YouTube videos. We're holding for $420. Renee, this is a stalemate. Neither side is budging. If I had more money, I'd buy more, but I'm tapped out. Does anyone have more money? GameStop 158.86, a little better. It is an uptick at the moment, just slight. Here we go. Bill, long periods of boredom with short periods of gut-wrenching panic, says Bill, the reality of the stock market. Sometimes that is the case. Hologram desperately trying to please their hedge fund bosses. Big candlesticks here. Love the stonks. Maybe just like sailing in the open seas. Only pick winners. Just trying to help my fellow apes. My app is saying the low is 157.30. You could be right. Maybe that's true. I'm still showing 157.39. 158.61 right now on a volume of 1.93 million. Holding since January. Numb for red digits anyway. I prefer their Chile something. I'm going to buy $420 worth. Cruise stocks need some help. Have a bagel second time. Time for CDC to say yes to NCL vaccination plan. We're now at 158.86. 158.48. Jumping Jehoshaphat's. Not good. Not breaking out. Definitely not breaking out. The Dow down now 242. A little better again. S&P down 28. NASDAQ down 128. Okay. 158.72 on GameStop. 158.72. Buy some SQQQ if you want to profit from a market dip, says Nicholas. 158.72. 159.12. Just broke 159 like butter on the GameStop. Went through 159 like butter. Okay. Let's see if it's got some more juice in there. maybe a little more Mo. Bruce, when will we see your comic books from the 90s? Hologram wants to know. I don't know. I got some over here. You know, sure like to get rid of these, but I don't have time to flog them. 158.95 right now on the stock. Come on, GameStop. The Dow down 235, a little better again. Not a lot better, but a little better. IBM holding a gain of 483. The Dow was as low as 33,777. It's now 33,845. 68 points better in about 5 minutes on the Dow. That's definitely an uptick there. We'll run that hopefully for a bunch. 158.87 again on GameStop. Will it break 159 again and go to 160 this time? What will it do? We're gonna see. We're here. I'm watching. I'm telling you. It looks like Tesla got pumped and dumped this morning. Butter. Okay, I went and got a bagel with grape jelly and butter. Way to go, Ona. Like frozen butter. Please show us Reddit, my hero. I think GameStop's pause button is stuck. 158.54. That's what we're looking at right now. 150.54. Aaron Pauling, just having a tough time here. 158.50 on the GameStop. Just you know. 233 on the downside on the Dow. Just, you know, it's better, but not a lot, but it's better. Yeah. AMC utilization almost at 100%, sitting at 99.9. Please talk about utilization and what that means for AMC if you're allowed to sell out your theaters. That's good news. The bad news now, if your theaters don't sell out, that's the bad news. AMC at $9.17 a share, down 49 cents. The question is, does AMC need to run at 85% sellout rate? What's the number to break even now? The number has got to be higher than it used to be. I would have bet you that before the pandemic, AMC would have made money maybe at a 60% occupancy rate for their theaters. I wonder if it's now 80% because of the increased bank loans and increased expenses of interest charges. I wonder if that's happening. They're trying to break us as adventurers. Let's go. The same old. Hologram says, bad day. Bruce, I have a ton of video games in my garage from where I closed my store last month. Am I going to have these forever? I have a ton of video games in my garage from when I closed my store. I do not know, my friend. I do not know how you play that out. I do not know. 157.85. We're coming back down on the GameStop. Will we break the low of 157.39? There's a shot maybe coming in here. Maybe not. 1.989 million. The volume is still incredibly light. Just got my HBO Max watch current movies. Some 420 and 690 calls for fun. Hologram Wendy's had it here. 90s Todd McFarlane Spider-Man was great. I wonder if Bruce has any of those. Very few. Very, very few of those. I got Spawn. Not Spawn. I've got Cerebus. Got lots of Cerebus comics. 157.39 is a low. 157.82 is where we're at right now on GameStop. It is a quiet one. Down 277 on the Dow. It's dropping again. S&P down 31.6, dropping. NASDAQ down 135, dropping. All right. Up or down, up, down, left, right, left, A, B, select GameStop, buy stock. 157.47, here we go. 8 cents from the low of the day. We're right on the edge now. Will we get a hit? And what will happen? Dave says Spawn. Interesting. 157.58. We're right and around this low level, but the volume is just not happening. There's no activity here. There we go. New low, 157.21. We just broke through the resistance level. 156.89 just a moment ago. We touched it, so we got through the 157 level like butter. 156.89 was the low. It's now 157.21 and it's trading through here. 156.96 right now, under 157. Question, will it go lower? 156.89 the low. We're at 156.94. And we're down $7.42. That is not enough of a drop. This is not even 4%. That is not enough of a drop to drop this stock into the 10% rule at all. 156.59. That is a new low. It has gone below the 89 level to 59 now. down 778, 156.58. It's coming in a little lower. John says new lows. Why isn't the news company saying anything about GameStop? Is Spawn pump and dump? Oh my, depressing. Every time I buy the dip, it dips more. Never fails. Christopher, thanks, Bruce. So would volume at 4 million pre-market be considered a 170 million volume day on GameStop today? I don't know about that. I mean, 4 million pre-market is very heavy for pre-market. No question about it. It could certainly spur a 60 million share day. It could. Don't know if it would, though. 156.89 is the low. 157.09 is where we're at. 2,050,000 shares traded. Very quiet. I thought up, down, left, right. Bought another 4 shares. Currently watching them short tiny amounts of shares over and over. Love that broker. Well done, XY. Deanna, sounds like a hedgy. Bruce, are there any interesting places to visit in BC like Tranquilly? I'll be driving around there in a few weeks. Tranquil, where the hell is that? I don't even know where that is. Down to 157.20. Still not the low right now. 156.89 is the low on the day. 157.36. Still above the low of the day on GameStop. The Dow now down 253. It's a little better than a few minutes ago. And S&P down 28. Make that 27.9. NASDAQ down 27. Markets a little better on the big boards. 157.10 on GameStop. Anything over 157 is above the low. Let's see. I got me a little over 2.6 shares. Contra 2, not verified, more for me and not for you. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Why are all these SPACs under $10? Where the hell is that? Kamloops is where Tranquil is. It's a haunted sanitarium that's been abandoned. Oh, that's interesting. GameStop 156.79. We're back to the low level here. The low was 156.33. We're in this neighborhood right now. Are we breaking at 2.1 million now traded? 156.86, about 50 cents above the low of the day. Will we get more? We don't know. Dow now down only 243, and we seem to be improving ever so little. 156.80 on GameStop. 56.81. 2.1 million volume. Very quiet day. Oh my gosh. It is what it isn't, and it isn't busy. I'll tell you that. It is not busy. This is not getting a lot of participation from a lot of players out there. We're down 7.75 a share to 156.62. We're 29 cents away from the low of the day. We're right in the neighborhood. 2.1 million. 156.65. Oh, it's slow. It is slight. It is just not a trader's delight. That's for sure. 156.65, 156.70. Yeah. This is not that exciting. 918 on AMC now, down 47 cents. Okay. Yeah, that's what we got. That's what we have, guys. Not much to try to excite you with here. A very, very tight trading range today. Tight trading range today in the last hour, so it hasn't moved much at all. This GameStop keeps dropping. I'm going to buy some more. Is GameStop on SSR tomorrow? No, it hasn't dropped 10% today. Not even close. Jason Soda, thank you, Jason, for this donation. It's very kind of you. In Bruce we trust. Diamond next spark is for you. Thank you so much for these. How and when is this nonsense going to end? I just don't see it. Calm before the storm. If GameStop has less action, what to do in the stock long term? Everyone got suckered into Dodge. Silly apes, come on into GameStop. They are fading the price. They really one-trick pony. Everyone is buying Doge. I don't know about that. We're waiting for a lot of corporate news on GameStop. That's what we're waiting for. And if it doesn't happen today, we're a quiet day. Probably not going to happen today. I just don't expect stuff to happen today. I just don't. I'm expecting news soon. 157.41 now we're climbing. But yeah, what can I say? David K, check out Destination Adventure YouTube for some cool abandoned places in British Columbia. HT, Rennie, for now, you might be right about the stalemate. Cost me nothing to hold and wait. Hopefully the dip lasts until my next payday. Thanks, Willard. Will do, says David. Okay. Where are we at now? 156.93 again. The low of the day, 156.33. It's 156.58. So it's in that low area. The Dow down 265. That's in its low territory as well. We are 25 cents away from the low of the day on GameStop with a volume of 2,136,000 shares. Nothing to get excited about here on volume. Oh my gosh. Thank you everybody for being here. Oh, I'm hanging on by a thread. Oh, I need a nap. We got 1,300 thumbs ups, and that's a miracle with this boring of a show. Sorry I can't be more exciting for you today, but I can't tell you about great things happening in the market right now. It's just one of those days. Thank you for those of you renewing your memberships to this channel. Thank you for becoming members of this channel. I appreciate that. And as I say, thank you for all of your donations today and everything else. 156.95 is not coming down. 156.33 is the low, and it's 156.50. Oh, 17 cents from the low. Maybe now. Maybe I'll go lower. NAP incoming, says Thomas. Is it 10% from yesterday's close? Yes, from yesterday's close. Why do you want it to go lower? Are you shorting the stock? People want to get the dips. Should we expect major movement before naming a new CEO? I don't think so unless something's going on. 156.26 new low right now. 156.26 new low. 7 cents lower than the latest low. Waiting for this to see what happens. This stock just getting hammered with this morning's shorts. Brock from yesterday's close. Imagine being a shorter and deciding to buy 10,000 Doge per minute. I don't care. They got what's that? They got it to get CP. They got to get it down to SSR level. It's got to go to 140 something to have that happen. Let's see. He wants to buy more. Okay, I'm going to go sell some silver to get more shares. We need to burp that GameStop now. 155.92 new low. 155.92. That's a new low on the day. We're watching this reaching an 845 low. We need the market, though, to drop about to 147 to get 10% lower. So it's only half the way down to where it's got to get to. I don't know if we're going to get there. Stock O Tracker says SSR is 147.93. Bruce, if you bought an in-the-money call option, could you sell it right away for a profit? If you bought an option that's in the money, it'll trade, all the time at its value plus time premium. The question is, what did you pay for it? Are you in the money? Did you make money on the contract? I mean, just because you buy an in the money contract, it might be $5 in the money, but you paid $7 for the contract. You're not in the money. You're not making money on that. You can't sell it for more than $7 unless someone wants to buy it off you for $7. If you were $10 in the money when you bought the contract, and now the stock is $20 in the money, your contract should be higher in the open market. You should be able to sell it for a profit. I'm not sure if I understand this question. I'm not sure what this means. Anyway, Bruce, they have ways to go the SSR around the SSR rule. Why do you want GameStop to go lower? Are you shorting the stock? Why would the stock be SSR eligible if it doesn't reach 147? I don't understand what you mean by that. I don't have any stock. I don't have it long or short. It's at 155 right now, 155.27. It's down 909. The low of the day is 155.20, so it's right in the low level, but that only puts it down 5.2%. It needs to drop another 4.8% in value. I think 147 something is where you need it to get to. Now, if it were to do that, the stock would be on a short sale restricted list today, all day for the rest of the day, and all day tomorrow. Is that a good thing for the stock? It could be if it's going to be volatile. But it hasn't been volatile lately, so I don't know if it's going to make a darn bit of difference. 155.50 on GameStop, up 30 cents from its low trade of the day, from what I can tell you right now. Okay. I'm getting notifications about stuff dropping. Remember, folks, There are firms out there that make their money the more you trade. There are brokerage firms out there now, platform traders in particular, that make most of their money if you buy and sell stock. And if they can convince you to buy and sell stock today on a quiet day because you're getting all these alerts, they can encourage you to shift around a little bit, they're making more money from you. They're trying to get millions of you to buy and sell stock, anything. Buy anything, sell anything. We don't care because we get a slice of the action when you make a transaction. And they're really happy when you sell 3 stocks and buy 3 other stocks. Oh, they love that because they're getting 6 commissions off of you through these trade to play, pay to trade rules. So if you're getting a bunch of alerts, you've got a brokerage firm that wants you to be active. That's what they're looking for. They're hoping you'll just get sucked into the vortex and just jump around the market. To me, if you've bought stock that you believe in and you know what the story is and why you're buying it and why you're holding it, you shouldn't have to sell anything. Just sit tight and wait it out. That's my opinion. Don't be trading stock for the sake of trading stock. No point in that. 156.08 on GameStop now. The low was 155.20. So it's almost up $1 from the low of the day. 156.15, 156.20, up $1 from its low trade about 5 minutes ago. That's what we're looking at on GameStop right now. Volume extremely light. Extremely light. The Dow down 266, hanging around the low of the day. We need an uptick there. S&P up 31 or down 31, and Nasdaq down 143. These markets are off today, and they're lower today, and that's not helping movement of stock. But nonetheless, the markets can still go higher despite it all. But it's a question of where will they go from here for the rest of the day. Let's see what it does. 155.80 on the GameStop as it is coming back in again, 60 cents away from the low of the day. 155.52, 32 cents from the low of the day. A little wave of selling. 2.24 million volume now on the day. That's what we got. I guess are redundant. Everything's down today. Consolidation is always a good thing. Dead calm. Can't drop it too low. People want to pick it up. That can happen too. SSR point would be 147.93. No, the premiums would outweigh your profile. Outweigh your profit. I have made so much off Dogecoin. Good on you. VGAC is going up because I sold 50 of my 160 to put more into GameStop. That's why the VGAC is going up. I made the mistake of selling it. VGAC 992 down a penny. Oh my God. Let's see. The SR don't matter. They can still short the stock on upticks. We don't want the stock to go lower. We want the stock to go higher. We like the stock. It really depends on the difference between price of the stock and the premium. Filled the gap and picked up 70. SSR, not SAR. Lance is on it. Look who owns one of the largest Doge wallets, Robinhood, aka you know who. Let's see. Excuse me. Here we go. James Clemens, haha, Bruce shorting GameStop. Now that's hilarious. 155.35 on GameStop. The low 155.11. We just hit it. 155.11. We just hit the low. 2.2 million now. All right. Let's go. Bruce, shot in the dark here. Have any good 420 stories you could share this afternoon? No, I don't. Then why does Bruce want the stock to go lower? He keeps talking about it going lower. That's not something we should be talking about. That's negative energy. James, if you can't handle negative energy, get out of the market, buddy. If you can't stand it, get out. You're not in the right place. 154.77 is the low here. Another low right now. 155.01. Stocks go up and down. They fluctuate. And you make your money when you buy low. You also make your money when you sell high. And so sometimes if you're an acquirer of paper and it's in a down day anyway, get the low of the day and scoop this stuff. And then make yourself some dough. 155.33. We hit 155.11 today for the low of the day. 2.26 million traded right now. Colin, there's a way to make money off of making money off of making money. They need lots of capital for the SEC rule to place in on the 22nd. That says they need to have collateral in hand for any shares they borrowed or lent. It's going to be interesting on the 22nd, isn't it? Going to be. Sean, it's annoying that the ape community is now largely split between Wall Street Bets, GameStop, Reddit, Wall Street Bets, Reddit, GameStop, and Reddit Superstock. I say annoying, and I mean suspicious. I don't know. My trades are 95% cash buys. Bruce, tell us a kooky college story. Tell us a kooky college story. Oh, man. But my trading app is trading for free. Only the SEC makes them pay up. The SSR rule doesn't matter when they can still call short the stock up on ticks. We don't want GameStop to go lower regardless. It's not a bright side that I'm all talking lower. 155.20. This is right near the low of the day, 9 cents away from the low of the day. The Dow Industrial Index is down 279. Not good. The markets are lower, and that's just a fact, Jack. 155.71 on the stock. GameStop, 155.11 was the low. All right. Yep, we want the silver lining is to get the cheapest price. Talking us down. We're talking it down. All right, the SSR is a point of interest of thinking about tomorrow. What is up with you, Shills? Constantly questioning folks when we talk about SSRs. Let's see here. 2.2 million volume is nothing. Think of what's going to happen when they margin called and have to buy back hundreds of millions of shares. I'm not worried to keep buzzing my phone. Let's go. Yeah, the short sellers are delaying the inevitable. Let's just enjoy the ride. 155.65. Quiet. Yep, quiet everywhere. VGAC, when the merger happens, if the stock is trading below 10, will Richard Branson be able to buy at a lower price or the $10 price? Richard Branson and the insiders of the 23andMe and the other entities have all bought in for the $10 deal. I think that's already done. I think that's already a done deal. Money's all in trust waiting to be transferred into the trust account, into the bank account of 23andMe. It's a done deal. There's no discounts. It's a done deal. Sit down and spark it. Okay, 155.50 is where I see it right now. Bruce, looking at some of the SPACs that have had merger already, they seem to have pretty erratic charts. Any reason why? Nope. It's their free trading stock now. GameStop shorts percentage has been increasing steadily from 39 to 62 from the 12th to the 19th. I don't know if that's true. Good old ladder attack. I want herring. Expectation management is key. What? I thought stocks only go up. Bruce, negative energy from it. Laugh out loud. Give me a break. I have to keep a perspective here. James Clemens, he was only talking about shorts and SSR because I was asking about it. John Chambers is laughing. I'm shorting herring. Volatility is high. James, this is not a conspiracy. 150.43, we got a new low right now. Bruce isn't manipulating GameStop prices, but the hedge funds certainly are. That's why we're here. 154.82 is the new low. We're just, going down by 10s and 20 cents at a time here and there. It's really a drip and drab little thing. Not a lot to get excited about. 154.57 last trade. That's a new low on a volume of 2.2 million, or is it better than that? Let's take a look at the volume now. 154.57 on 2.36 million. Very quiet. James, just calm down those papyrus palms. People are blaming Bruce for the stock going down. This is hilarious. Keep a stonk, Bruce's friend. James, you'll get used to negative energy. It's still energy. He's the opposite of that kind of energy. You're probably used to all energy is nice. Let's see. Gamma squeeze stonk. Maybe that's why they are shorting the price lower, because maybe margin calls coming on the 22nd. Don't hold your breath. They figure a way around it. 154.10. New low. 154.10. Okay. Spark them if you can. Just bought two more GameStop, 155.65. Let's see. Volume, price is low. It's 151.92, but 2.2 billion volume. Ain't scared. 154.57 is the low. 154.57. Or no, 153.65 is where I see it right now. This is probably the low right now. we'll just stay here and watch it. Who are we going? Where are we gonna go? All right. Let's see. Yes, here we go. My favorite Beatles song is "Back in the SSSR." Oh gosh. It's a great quiet day to chill with Uncle Bruce. That's what it is. Good morning, Big Bruce. Thank you, guys. Bruce is the guy in his living room with magic bagels. If stocks go down, blame hedge funds. Don't blame Bruce. Nuclear fusion is negative energy. I'm just saying. Thumbs ups for Bruce. Thank you. Let's go, boys. Follow your guts. IPOE getting into it. It's getting hit. Uncle Bruce, what video games did you play growing up? None. I did play oh gosh, what was that thing called? Games from the 80s at a quarter at a time. Pac-Man. I played Pac-Man. Starfighter. Played Starfighter. Played the odd other game here and there, but not very much. Very, very little. I was too busy in front of the quote machine on the phone with my clients. But I would once in a while get a 10-minute breakout and just kind of, get away for a while and then come back at it. 154.31 last trade on GameStop. Low 153.36 I'm showing on GameStop. 2.43 million traded now. The Dow is down 292, new low, I think. S&P down 37 and NASDAQ down 188. Now the Dow is down 0.8 of a percentage point, and S&P is down 0.9 of a point, not even down 1%. The NASDAQ, however, down 1.3%, finally down more than a percentage point. 153.88 on GameStop, coming to the low level again. Oil down $1.42, down 2.2% to 61.96. So that means tomorrow the price of gas will drop 20 cents wherever you are automatically, because that's how it works. As soon as oil drops $1 a barrel, the next day prices drop on you at your gas station. Or is it the other way around? When prices go up a dime a barrel, the price of your gas goes up a dime too. Maybe that's what that is. I'm not sure. I'm just trying to remember all this. 154.77 on GameStop right now. 154.60 is where I show the market right now. Okay. Let's see what else is going on here. New comments. Have you ever met anyone famous while you were working back in the day? Did I meet anyone famous while I was working? Well, we had our local favorites here and there, but meet someone like famous in person, not much. I remember meeting Paul Revere from the Raiders, and he was in his costume. He had those white. Remember, they had those white tights, and then they had those boots, the high boots, and they had those blue vests with the blue jackets and the long tails, and then those triangular hats. You remember those with the big feathers on? I met him without the hat on. Well, let's call it backstage, but not necessarily. Met him at the back of the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium, and I remember they had been a sensation. They were sensational in 64, 65, but I think I met him in 68. They were kind of on the way down now, and they were playing gigs in front of 6,000 to 10,000 fans instead of 15,000 to 20,000, but still making money. Anyway, my father's music store, we got a call from the group at the arena. They needed a cable. They needed something like a 60-foot cable to connect an audio system to their board or something. I don't know what it was. And I think someone came in the store. As a matter of fact, I think a roadie came in, and they showed us the end. We need these ends attached to something. So we said we'll do it right away for you. He said we're on stage this afternoon at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock this afternoon. We said we'll deliver it to you. We'll make it, and then we'll drive over there and we'll deliver the cable to you. They said just come to the back of the auditorium, tell security that you're here to see the band. You've got equipment for them, they'll let you through. And so my the guy who was working with my dad made the cable downstairs, put it all together, and soldered it all together, and taped it all up, and it was all, you know, industrial strength. And then we went to we closed the store at 6, and by 6:15, I think we were going on stage at 8 or something. 6:15 we were there, and just like we promised. And we get out of the van, and I'm holding this bag with this cable in it. It's got to be 20 pounds. It's heavier. It must have been a good 100 feet long. It's long. Anyway, Paul Revere comes up to us and says, "Are you the guys from the music store?" I said, "Yeah, we sure are. We got your cable right here." I'm showing the bag. He's looking at it. "Oh, this is great, man. I can't thank you enough for driving this over here for us. Really appreciate it. And what do we owe you?" And we had a receipt all written up and all. And it was like $65 or something like that. And he reaches into his pant pocket. These are these white spandex type, not spandex, but they were white, some kind of material pants. And he pulls out a wad of money. And I mean a wad. It was like, it was this kind of a wad right here. It was a wad of money like this. Like, can you imagine holding a wad? 50s, 100s, and 20s, all cash. And he had American and Canadian money. And he's just going through, and he pulls out like $70 and just hands it to us. "Keep the change, guys. Thank you so much." And he took the receipt. He just put it in with the wad, shoved it back into his pocket, and said, "Thanks again, guys. Really appreciate you coming out." And grabbed the bag and handed it to one of his roadies, and off they went. And it was just mayhem back there. It was very active, lots of activity going on, equipment people and all kinds of security and stuff. And the two of us, we left just kind of going, "That's kind of cool." You know, met Paul Revere from the Raiders, you know. He ain't no John Lennon, and he's not a Paul McCartney, but he's Paul Revere from Paul Revere and the Raiders. Anyway, that was kind of cool. Yeah. Kill the haters with the kindness. Where are we at right now? 155 on GameStop. Low of the day, 153.36. We bounced off the low. Volume 2.59 million. Oh my gosh. Such a grind. It's a quiet one so far today. Anyway, what can I say, folks? Thank you, all of you, for being here. Thank you for joining me this morning for the first 3 hours of the morning here. I'm going to be back on this afternoon at 3 o'clock Eastern. 1 hour to go before we the close today, and then we'll be on for the last hour trading, first hour of the aftermarket. See what's going on. We're now at 154.80. It's a little better. Run, Bruce, run, Bruce. Yep. What can I say? Nothing like a wad of cash to make you feel wealthy. Yeah, it was pretty cool. He, in those days, in the 60s, the gate, it was cash at the gate. And so he got a bunch of dough from his manager, I'm sure. But I think he was managing a lot of the work. He was doing a lot of the managing at that time, too. Of course, those are the days that the acts, they did a lot of work. But yeah, probably headed from Kitchener to London, Ontario, to Hamilton, to St. Catharines, to wherever else. And they were on a summer tour, raking in some cash while they could, spinning the hits and supporting their albums and trying to keep that game going as long as they could. So what can I say? They did all they could. Yeah, Paul Revere and the Raiders. What can I say? Anyway, there you have it. 155 is the last trade right now, down 937. 2.6 million traded. Thank you for watching me this morning. Thank you for the thumbs ups, everybody. Appreciate that. We end up with 1,300 thumbs ups. Can I complain about 1,300 thumbs ups on a lousy day like today? I don't think so. I'll be back on with an hour to go before the close, and we'll see how the markets want to treat us then. In the meantime, everybody, have a good morning and a good afternoon wherever you are. And join me this afternoon at 3 o'clock as we shut this market down. Hopefully, we'll have a bit of a recovery going on here, and we'll close at highs. How about that? We'll close at even higher highs. We'll look for the best. Thank you, guys. Thank you, John. And thank you, everybody. We'll catch you later. See you soon. Thank you, everybody. Love you guys. All right. Bye for now.